serving.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, on my right, N.NGUYEN. And on my left, A.MCALLISTER. A.MCALLISTER to serve. Lawful play. Hold.
You're very welcome here to the
Service
National
over.
Final Championships, and
Love.
we're starting off here with the men's singles. #1 seed N.NGUYEN up against A.MCALLISTER. This should be a really exciting final, and great to have you here watching. And my name is _MAGEE. I'm the Head Performance Director for Ireland, and beside me here is Craig McCourtney, the Coach Education Officer. How do you see this one going, Craig?
It's an interesting matchup. I mean, Nat's had some great results recently on the World Tour, Dan. He's just come back from the Indonesian Masters, where he took a set off world #2, Jonathan Christie. So, I mean, he's playing at a really high level. But, I mean, Adam is well used to playing Nat since they trained together, Dan. So, can you give us a bit of insight into that, maybe?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a great matchup here. These guys are very familiar with each other in training. You have to say, you know, Nat's the big favourite here.
Over.
Adam has nothing to lose, and he's
Change.
been in great form this week. Had a really good, solid semi-final win over David Walsh, and Nat looked very impressive. The quarter-final win over David Walsh, Robbie Frost, and the semi-final was another good win for him. And Nat in his semi-final looked quite comfortable against Sam McKay. So hopefully Adam can settle in and try and work a little bit on Nat's nerves, maybe if they creep in at the start of the game.
Yeah, I mean, at the national level, Adam's been playing a high level. He's been winning a lot of events. I mean, before Christmas, Adam won the men's doubles at the Leinster Open, mixed doubles at the Leinster Open, and then the men's singles at the Munster Open and men's doubles at the Munster Open. So Adam's getting a lot of good results at the national level, Dan. But what can he expect from Nat here in this game?
Yeah, where Nat's going to really work Adam all around the court. He'll make the court really big. Adam's going to have trouble hitting through Nat because his recovery rate is really top class, and that's what Adam has to try and do, is find these solutions to get the shuttle on the ground early. But that's not going to be easy because Nat can really run the shuttle down well. But let's see how he approaches the start of this game.
You'll see something about Nat's game as well, Dan. He's always so early on the net, and I mean, that's key for men's singles, really taking your net early, forcing those short lifts.
Yeah, giving Adam little time on the shuttle and constantly pressing them to the rear courts. So here we go.
Just out that
Service
one from
over.
Nat.
5-2
now. So Nat currently, of course, 5 national titles to his name in the men's singles. Looking for a 6th national title here today, Dan.
Yeah, it's hunting down that 6th title, and A.MCALLISTER is already have 1 silver medal under his belt. He'll be looking to change the silver into gold this time, but tough task in front of him. But he has actually started the game really well. We've seen some really good long rallies here and a nice display from both players.
Oh, you'll just see a smash there, right out on the outside line there from Nat. Excellent shot.
Yeah, and this could be the little bit of difference you've seen. There has been around 3 long rallies so far, and Nat has that put-away shot that maybe Adam is missing. If you look at the 2 players head-to-head, Adam's rallied really well, just hasn't been able to put on the floor, but Nat gets the short lift there, and he has it on the ground.
Just landed out the back there. We've seen that in the hall a bit this week, Dan, a little bit of drift on some of the courts. What's causing that drift in the hall?
Yeah, when you play in these big arenas, you have that aircon on, and that causes the shuttle sometimes to travel faster in a certain direction. And there, I have noticed from playing this week that there's a little bit when you're lifting on the side Adam's on that you have to be careful to give it a little bit more height so that the aircon doesn't catch it and then it goes that little bit a little past the back line. But
just a dispute here on the line call. It looks like the line judge called that one in, and umpire looking to play. Something I think the players in the early rounds this weekend, Dan, just trying to get used to the drift and the size of this hole. The stream doesn't show how big this hole actually is.
Yeah, that's maybe the difference between the domestic level game and the higher end badminton, when you play these big arenas that you have to deal with the lighting, you have to deal with the way the shuttle moves with the aircon, and you have to be able to control that. And when you're not training in that environment a lot, it can be quite tricky to deal with.
Nat 9-2 up now in this first game. And that's landed out.
10-2. Interval.
Here we are in interval. Both these guys, very successful players coming up through our junior ranks and the junior nationals as well. I know Nat had won a lot of his underage nationals, and Adam also around 2017, 2018 started to win at under 17 and under 19 level.
Yeah, I mean, Adam was a force to be reckoned with at junior badminton. In 2017, he won a gold medal at the under-17 nationals. Followed that up in 2018 with a gold medal in the under-19 nationals. So, yeah, I mean, another final for him here. Adam also made the final of the men's singles in 2020 and was a runner-up there. So Adam has experience playing in many finals, Dan, and you'll be able to see that today, I think.
Yeah, and also he's been a steady player throughout underage on the national Irish teams that have travelled away to European Championships, and he's a good performer across all three disciplines actually. He can play singles, he can play doubles, and he can play a very good level mixed, and you'll see that because later on, of course, he's in the men's doubles as well, so he is a nice versatile player.
Just putting that one wide.
2, Adam.
What can you do, Dan, against playing against a player just at a different level? What kind of tactics can you try to use?
Yeah, you can see there, it's more so that Adam's trying to force a little bit because he's aware that Nat can cover so much court that he's then maybe trying a little bit too hard just to find that line, where against his quarterfinal and his semi-final he's picking out winners. He has to try and hit that a little bit better, a little bit closer to the line, and then that, you know, these mistakes do happen then. So what he has to do is he has to try and relax and not over try to hit the perfect shot, but just to really keep the speed high, and then also take his opportunity when it comes. He does have to take some chances, because if he doesn't, he's not going to get that shuttle on the ground, but he has to measure it at the right time.
And that's the quality he has, Dan, isn't it? That shot there, cross-court smash, deep in the court. And Nat just has real good quality on his attack as well, doesn't he?
Yeah, that little disguised cross smash, I know from working with Nat from a young age. He used to be a big fan of Lee Chong-wei, and he used to do that deceptive smash where he looked like he was hitting straight and then changes it to cross last second. So he's picked up a lot of things from players that he's watched, and he really studied the game from a young age. That's one thing about Nat. He's a real lover of badminton, and he loves to watch and he loves to learn, and you can see that he's got all these different skills that he's picked up along the way, traveling the world, seeing the world's best players.
Yeah, you mentioned attack and watching some of the best players in the world, and that's something Nat, for me, is he's really improved over the years. Is he's got real weapons now at the back of the court and quality at the back of the court.
Yeah, and you have to have something a little bit more when you get to the top 30 in the world. You have to be able to do these deceptions, find different solutions to make winners, and that's one of the things that Nat has to do now. And when you go up the next tier of the ladder and you're playing against top 30 in the world, he'll have the same issues that Adam's having here to try and make those shots, to make those winners.
Of course, Nat's world ranking 33 in the world at the moment, and he's getting to play some of the best players in the world at the moment, which can only bring your level up, Dan, right?
Yeah, it's really impressive that we have a player now who's top 32 in the world, playing the World Tour events, working really hard out there as a young Irishman. in the top tier playing against the top players, and that's a lot down to the hard work that Nat's done, but it's also down to the hard work behind the scenes from Iskander, his coach, and the other players in the system supporting him, and the sparring that he has from Yo Sing Zo, an Irish Open winner. So, of course, you know, as the system grows, we're able to produce players that are top 30 in the world, and it's great to see Nat pushing on and going out to these World Tour events. But even the big one recently, taking that set against Jonathan Christie, that's massive for Nat. And in the past, having wins against Srikanth Kadambi, who's world top 10, these things make a massive difference for, you know, promoting the sport and having the young guys within the system looking up to a player and saying, wow, we have an Irish kid who can go all the way to the World Tour. Why can't I?
15-6.
15-6 now. It's Nat in this first game. That's good attack there from Adam. Really put him under pressure after he took the net early. Really good to see.
15.
Adam fighting for every point as well. Definitely not going to give it to him easily, Dan, that's for sure.
Yeah, what I liked about that one was this time, rather than try and go for the line, he went at the body and then pressed again forward. So he's trying to find these little solutions to kind of confuse that and find a point. And that's nice to see.
Just trying to spin in net there, that's falls short. See though, Adam trying to take the net early, Dan, compared to the first set. He's the first half of this game. He's trying to make a change to put Nat under a bit of pressure, I guess. Yeah, and interestingly, you've seen from the overheads there, Nat's opening up the court again now. He's starting to use the clears again and make Adam work hard. And that's going to be something that's going to be interesting to see how Adam fares out as the rallies go on. Great net exchange. Great net exchange. Both players not willing to give away the left, and then not just taking that opportunity to push it past Adam into the long corners. Of course, both these players same age, 22 years old, I believe. Both turning 23 this year, so plenty of badminton ahead of both of them. That's a great cross reverse there from Nat. That's where we talked about his quality at the back of the court, Dan, just that disguise he gets on his slices. Yeah, and it's the fact that he's getting up behind the shuttle, loading the body language is really showing there's going to be the power, and then he just changes it at the last minute to hit that reverse. It's one of his signature shots, and especially when he does it in the straight forehand side. It catches a lot of the top players in the world with that straight reverse, so he's got great hands to mix it up like that. Game point now. I talked about Nat doing that shot, and then Adam just does the one that I talked about. Lovely, yeah. The sky straight reverse slice there from Adam. Nice shot. Using the clear a lot from the back. You see there, he's not afraid to give away the attack. He's happy enough to punch clear, put Nat on the back line, and then let Nat attack him. So it's interesting to see that Nat isn't being overly aggressive. He's just knocking the shuttle around, seeing what Adam comes at. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see now the change of Adam's game potentially in this next one. Tiredness may be setting in now, but we'll see what he does.
So next up for N.NGUYEN will be a block of European events. You've got the All England, of course, coming up, and there's a number of the other Irish athletes that are targeting the upcoming German Open. We've got Uganda on the calendar, and we have also got the Portuguese with a group of the younger players that you'll see later on who are competing, also looking to go on the circuit and compete at these top level European and world level events.
Of course, you mentioned the All Englands there, one of the premier Super 1000 series events. Nat, I believe, first reserve there for that. Is he likely to get in the draw there, Dan, for the All Englands?
You can never tell with these events. You know, he's 33 in the world, top 32 are in the event, so he's hoping that he will be promoted into the main draw for that, and that will be exciting for Nat if he can play in that event. Always going into the Olympic qualification cycle, these events ramp up all of the top world players there, making sure that they have their points high enough to be in these big events when the qualification cycle starts. So that will be a big one, and Nat will really hope to be involved in that.
Okay, we're about to get underway here, the second game.
Lawful play.
Right down into the backhand corner there from Nat. Adam struggling to get that one. It looked like a positive start from Adam there, though. He had good energy in that rally.
Well done, nice and brave. Take the net and then early look for the attack. Good press onto Nat's body.
Yeah, that's what I think we'd want to see more of from Adam in this game, really, Dan, isn't it? To put Nat under a bit more pressure on the net.
Yeah, I think he has to take chances. If he doesn't take a few calculated risks, then the longer the rally goes on, you would favour Nat. So he needs to do things like that. And Adam does have the quality to take the net. He has the quality to rush it. So he has to be brave and look to generate those quick points as well. Yeah, quality lift from that right on the back line.
Of course, this is actually a repeat of the 2020 men's singles national final, when it was Nat against Adam again then, Dan. So the scores then were 21-8, 21-8. So
maybe history will repeat itself.
We have a 21-8 in the first game already, so who knows.
Again, you see that one, Craig, where he attacked on the body. I think that is what Adam has to do, where, like you seen earlier, he played the spin and hunted the net. This time, again, attacking on the body. He needs to try and mix it up a little bit to try and create those quick winners to stop Nat from working him around the court.
Yeah, you mentioned hitting onto the body, and that's something obviously we like to do a lot in doubles. And Adam's a great doubles player, and you see him in the final of the doubles later. I guess he needs to try and play an unusual style, Dan, or something that Nat's not expecting, like that, hitting onto the body.
And again, although he got caught out there with that one, you could see he was hunting the net. So he is taking these calculated risks, and that'll make a big difference.
Oh, that's unlucky there. He made a good attack and followed up well. You can't leave those short, Dan, can you? You got to make sure they're into the court.
Doing the right thing, but it's these cheap errors that you can see in Adam's side where you don't see them in that, like where he dragged the backhand into the net earlier, or he drops it there just short of the net, and that's just the small differences when you come from you know, top 100 in the world as opposed to the top 30 in the world. You don't get so many of those cheap mistakes. But I think Adam's doing a good job.
It's just been called out, that one.
2.
It's fine
Change.
margins when you're going for those lines, Dan, isn't it? And we've seen that from Nat already. Real quality when he hits for lines and the side of the court.
Yeah, you seen that earlier. The one that Adam left, Nat just pins it on the back line, and then Adam hits a good clear, only an inch out, but it's just those unforced errors all add up when it comes to the end of the game.
That one then,
2.
another error we mentioned. It's a good idea there from Adam, Dan. They put the long punch clear into forcing that onto his backhand, but then just another error on the net.
Yeah, it's just the smallest of margins that Adam's missing by, but as the game goes on, these errors add up, and then that just gets that lead and he gets comfortable.
Yeah, and we just see great quality spin there from that on the net, forcing a short lift.
Change.
So Nat's route to the final, he looked pretty comfortable. He had a opening win against Patrick Martin with a 21-2, 21-13 win. Followed that up with a win over Sean Patrick Loretta with a 24-4, 21-6. Then in the semi-final, 21-12, 21-7 over
10,
Sam McKay.
2.
On the other side, Adam McAllister started off with a straight set victory over Carl McLaughlin. Then he had that quarter-final that we talked about, where it was a close one against David Walsh, 21-16, 23-21, who he'll later be playing his doubles with, and the two guys live together, interestingly enough. And then lastly, he had that win over Robbie Frost, winning 21-13, 21-8. An amazing route to the semi-final for Robbie Frost, a big result for him to get to his first semi-final as well.
Of course, Adam himself studying in DCU, Drum City University.
At this point in the game now, Adam just has to really go for it. He has to try and mix up the play, do something to take Nat out of his comfort zone. And he's nothing to lose at this point. When you're this far down, you can play freely, you can really go for it, you can try do different things, and you've got nothing to lose. The pressure is gone when you're trailing at this point, so Adam can really just play freely now and enjoy the second half of this game.
Yeah, it's interesting because, I mean, Nat doesn't play at home very often, Dan, but when he does, maybe there's that little bit of added pressure of having to play your home event, whether that's the Irish Open or the Senior Nationals, which are both on his calendar during the season. That's brilliant from Adam there.
Best rally of the match, both players knocking the shuttle around, and again, Adam, I like to see that where he does something different, attack the body, make Nat think a little bit. It was nice to see that change of play, because it was punch clear from Nat, punch clear from Adam, both players working the court, making it big, and then suddenly Adam just changes the pace, hits the body, and that makes a big difference when you mix it up like that.
It was really good patience from Adam there, really, Dan, not to give away an unforced error, and just wait for his opportunity to attack body and mix it up a little bit. Yeah, good rally then. That's where he's got to be ready on his defense.
3.
Yeah, it's again just another easy point for Nat. And if it's a longer rally and Nat's winning 80-20 of them, then you just got to make sure that when you have a shot that's not that difficult, that you're not giving it to him cheap.
And that's landed out.
14-3.
And the question is, can he get to 8 again, Craig? That's what his scores were in the last final when they met.
That's right. 2020 is a repeat of our 2020 Nationals final. Of course, the tournament itself started in 1912. So 111 years this year, Dan, the Nationals. One of our oldest events, and possibly one of the oldest Nationals in Europe, I would imagine.
Yeah, that and the Irish Open are two very long-running events, and there's some great history to it. And it's great to have a home event each year, and it's exciting for all of the people at home to be able to see your top players and the likes of Nat and Joshua, Paul, and our other full-time players all competing and fighting for their home title.
Adam trying a straight reverse slice there again, but just landing out in the tram line. We've seen that time and time again, really, Dan. Just those kind of cheap mistakes, and Nat does not give away many of those.
Now he's searching for solutions here. Now Nat's really comfortable, moving around really well, looking really strong on court. So. Nice rally.
That's brilliant from Adam. It really is. He did so well there, Dan, didn't he?
Absolutely, and that's what you want to see in the later part of the match. Adam still fighting for every single point, knocking the shuttle around, being aggressive when he needs to be, and that time just being safe with the smash, heading straight down the line, and that's all he needed to do there.
Yeah, it's good stuff from Adam there. That one is going to land out the back. 16-5 now to Nat.
16-5.
Looking for his 6th national singles title. It's good from Nat there. Cross-court block.
Yeah, what he's done very well, and what he does do very well, is he makes the court really big. So when he's up against his opponents, he makes them work from corner to corner. He can open up the court very well. And Adam just had to try and chase that down, but it's difficult when someone's been working you for almost 2 sets to keep that energy up and keep working. And as what you said at the start, like, the key is being early on that net and pressurizing your opponent. So it's very difficult when you're doing that for a long period of time, but you don't seem to be getting through. So Adam still has to work at that.
That's good from Adam there. Nice. Early into the round, the head corner cross-court smash.
7-17.
Really good there.
And again, not going for the line, just making the angle, keeping it safe. And his balance was good. He's actually ready to follow that up. So let's see one more to match his 2020 score.
Unlucky.
Service over.
He read it well.
18-7.
18-7 now. Seen a lot of long punch clears from that throughout the game, Dan. That's, I guess, to create space elsewhere on the court and to wear down your opponent. A mixture of both, I guess.
Yeah, he's confident to put Adam on the baseline, and he's not afraid of what attack Adam's coming with. But I think Adam's done a good job.
Yeah, that's good there again from Adam.
Yeah, he's done a good job at trying to get up behind the shuttle and to make it difficult for Nat. It's not easy when someone's punching with pace all the time and you're working really hard to get behind the shuttle. It takes its toll on you. So despite it being in the later part of the match, Adam's still working, still getting up behind, and the fact that he's been a little bit safer now, I think that's why he's getting the points.
Ah, it's unlucky. He tried to get up around the head again there.
It's over. 19-8.
19-8 now.
Change.
2 points away for Nat's 6th national singles title.
And he has time on his side, 22 years of age, our all-time leader. It's Michael Watt, I believe, on either 9 or 10 titles.
In the men's singles, yeah. Of course, our all-time national record holder recently was Chloe McGee. She has the most national titles ever at 28, I believe. Dan, your sister.
Yeah. That's 27 more than I have.
Of course, you win in the 2007 doubles title with your brother Sam.
It's. I think Nat has plenty more years to build up those titles, and it'll be exciting to see how many he can get over the year. It's that longevity that a lot of these top players have had, which has been impressive.
That's good from Adam. He's not giving it to him, that's for sure.
19.
Yeah, and he's broke his scoreline from the 2021. He's now on 10 points. Let's see what he can push on to get. Oh, nice.
Oh, that's
Adam.
brilliant from Adam. Brilliant.
11.
Just catching that defense as it came across his body and play that nice and into court. And that's what you want to do in your defense, Dan, sometimes is not go for those tight blocks, just play them into court into what we call neutral.
Yeah, just fishing it up over the net, making him work a long distance at the court. And it's great to see Adam still battling here in the later part of the match, not giving up, really fighting. And that's a great attitude, and great for those watching to see. You should never stop. Get as many points as you can.
Oh, unlucky.
Service
Unlucky.
He did everything right. Played the neutral, set up the spin, went for the rush on the net, and just maybe tried a little bit too hard to make the winner there.
Title points now for Nat.
Great defense again.
Great defense. Good punch clear.
Oh, strings are broken.
Ah, that's good from Adam. He took advantage of not breaking his strings there, Dan.
You know, he earned that point. He really kept the speed high and worked Nat. Again, what he did very well on that one, Nat's attacking a little bit more than what he had been doing. And Nat's been, you know, attacking that backhand side of Adams, and he's been floating that just up onto the close to the net, not having to run it down. So as Nat's actually got more aggressive, it's actually favoured Adam.
Yeah, I mean, it's never easy to close out a game, is it, for a title, Dan? Never easy at whatever level.
I think with this one, I don't think Nat has any pressure on him. He has 9 match points, so this one might be a bit easier to close out than some of them, but yeah, no, it can be tough.
There you have it. Nat taking the men's singles national title here in the National Indoor Arena, 21-8, 21-12. Convincing result there, Dan, but I think Adam put up a really good fight in that game, I have to say.
Yeah, it's
Match won by
interesting.
N.NGUYEN.
Matt obviously having that
21-8,
tactic of
21-12.
hitting the baseline, making him work, and then Adam had to put in a a big stint there, working, getting behind the shuttle. What I liked about what I seen from Adam McAllister there was the energy that he put into the game. He was prepared to work hard. He was prepared to get behind the shuttle. He took chances. A lot of the time he was just a little bit unfortunate. Missing by an inch, missing by 2 inches, spinning the net, looking to make the kill, but just falling short or just missing out. But that's really important that he tries to do that, because if he didn't take those chances, he had no chances scoring points against Nat. So I thought he did a really good job. He's improved on his scoreline from when they last met in the final.
And a nice round of applause there from the crowd that we'll have here in the National Indoor Arena in Blanchardstown. Great spectacle here today, and it's great to see some of the community turn out to watch the games here, Dan.
Yeah, it's great, and we have to say we're really blessed to have the National Indoor Arena for these type of events. It really has dressed up our nationals. The streaming service that is provided by Philip McKeown, we have to give him a shout out, because he does so much work behind the scenes that a lot of people don't see. It really is fantastic to have these matches streamed, and the quality of streaming now is much better, and that can only attract people to tune in and watch your sport, and hopefully pick up a racket and try it out. And with the announcement of the planning being passed for the new velodrome, there's going to be some world-class facilities here in Dublin for people to come and play badminton and to try our sport for the first time. So it's a great time to be involved in sport, and it's a great time to be starting up badminton.
Yeah, it's great to see, Dan. Sport Ireland have massively supported badminton over the years, and they've done that now with giving the go-ahead on the velodrome, and we're really excited for that to get underway. We are going to be going over to the ladies doubles final now, and I am going to be taking a step out, and we are going to be joined by another former national winner, Michael O'Meara, who's going to take over for me. See you guys later.
I'm here with Michael O'Meara, one of our national champions in men's doubles, and he's been involved in a number of national finals throughout the years. Here working really hard this week on the chair as an umpire and line judging. And Mike, tell us, how have you found it so far this weekend?
Yeah, good afternoon everybody, and thanks a million, Dan. Yeah, it's been a fantastic show. I think when you look around at the work the guys in BI have done to put it on, it really looks very well, and I suppose I would like to give a big shout out to my colleagues, the umpires and the line judges, who are all volunteers here, and I think they've done a fantastic job. The line judge is led by Sarah Kilfeather, so yeah, it's been great to be a part of that, and really just to give something back to the sport, Dan. It's all about putting on a spectacle for the players.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely the court officials have done amazing work, and the whole show and the whole look of the nationals, I can say from the years that I've played in it, it's come a long way to have this streaming, and I know the events team, Greg Farrell and Conor Doherty, Phil McCone, and the streaming, along with all the hard work from the court officials. It's really dressed up the event, and it gives it that feel of a real international event.
Yeah, absolutely, and as the saying goes, Dan, the show must go on. It is about putting a show on and showcasing our sport as the fastest racket sport in the world. So yeah, listen, Dan, what are we looking forward to here on our ladies doubles? What way do you see this?
Well, we've got a really established pair, world number 51, K.FROST and M.RYAN, come up against two of our top young players who are pushing through really well, M.SHOCHAN and P.WOODS. So maybe experience versus youth, but Kate and Moya, of course, are still a young partnership, but Paige and Michelle are, one under 17, one under 19. Nice players who will really relish the opportunity to go in and get stuck in against their older counterparts.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, Kate and Maya, they're as you said, they're still very young, age 24. Maya's from Bridgetown in County Clare, which is literally only a few miles away from where I live. And you know, Kate from Dublin. I suppose the irony is in the mixed doubles, Maya went up against her sister earlier on, which was a battle of two sisters, and the younger one came out on top. So two fantastic sisters playing the sport of badminton here. But I think you're right. I think the two girls would certainly be favourites, but Maya and Kate. But certainly the two younger ones, Michelle has had a fantastic last 12 months, primarily in singles, winning German Open and Swedish Open. And I think it's a great opportunity for Dan to ask some questions and see what they can come up with.
Yeah, they've got nothing to lose here. You know, I think if you asked the crowd, you would get a pretty resounding response that Kate and Maya are the favourite. But that itself comes with pressure, as we've seen. You know, last year the girls had a tough final, and I know they'll be here to set that straight again this year and get themselves back on top of the podium. The two girls, Michelle and Paige, played extremely well in the semi-final, beating Jenny, who was last year's winner, along with S.FLYNN, who's going to be involved later in the women's singles final. I believe she's just turned 16. I think it might be today was her birthday.
I think you're right, yeah. I think you're right, Dan.
So a nice little birthday present for S.FLYNN to be playing in her first ladies singles final.
Yeah, and of course her older sister here, Orla, who's probably for another maybe 45 minutes or so is our current ladies doubles champion. She's been injured for a while, and it's good to see Orla here behind the court, kind of encouraging sisters on. But anyway, we're underway here. And I think it's going to be very important that the two younger girls get off to a good start here, Dan, from a confidence perspective, and really just make sure they do the basics right, serve well, return well, and really not just make any, I suppose, unforced errors to get into the game.
Yeah, that's going to be a massive part to play. If you're an underdog playing in a big event and a big final like this, generally you need to start quick, because if the more experienced players that are on the world circuit get confident, you've lost that advantage, and then they can play freely. And at the moment, you have to say that they do have more quality than what the younger players have, and that's just a natural thing with age and the amount of training that they've done. And of course, Moya and Kate working very hard with our national coach J.MAGEE, who works with all of the doubles players, and he has done a lot of work on their set pieces and what they need to do. So
yeah, a very, very good rally from the two younger girls there who managed to stay in it for as long as they needed to and not, I suppose, fold under pressure. And I think it's important that they continue to apply whatever pressure they can and not let the girls get away from them, and really get into the match and ask questions, you know.
Yeah, that'll settle the nerves getting that first point.
Service over.
And of course, K.FROST, she's from a well-known badminton family. Dan, you'll have to say, younger brother Robbie was in the singles semi-final here today, and he's an under-17 international, and mother Lorraine is a very established player of, a bit like myself, Dan, yesteryear. So certainly a family with a badminton pedigree.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Robbie will be delighted with the result that he had this weekend. Big step up for him, and he really did well to reach that semi-final. And Kate will look to go one step further and maybe take home gold for the family. So far it's going that way.
Yeah, and of course P.WOODS is also from a very well-known badminton family from Lisburn in up the north of Ireland. Father Trevor here is behind the court. She's three sisters: Chloe, younger sister, an underage international, and two older sisters who you'd probably know reasonably well, Dan, Rebecca and Rachel, who were under 19 internationals. So a rich pedigree there.
absolutely. The Woods family have been a force in badminton, in Ulster badminton and Irish badminton. Interestingly, one thing that always comes to mind when I think about the Woods is Trevor Woods winning European Junior medal.
Correct, yeah.
1975, I think he was bronze in the mixed. I think his partner was Linda Andrews. And
that's right, Linda Andrews, yeah.
That's a really impressive result, and one of the first ever Irish players to pick up a European Junior medal. And you know, Trevor's got a lot of knowledge, and you can see it coming out in Paige's game, and you could see it when Rachel and Rebecca played as well. So yeah, it's great to have someone like that in your family who can and give you that knowledge and give you that edge.
And great to have someone like that sitting behind your court, which is where he currently is. Any medal you win at underage European level is a medal to be cherished, and as you well know, there's not too many of them around.
Oh no, Trevor was one of the first, and those medals are hard earned, so it's a great thing to have in your resume. So the girls are lucky to have someone with that experience to help them on.
Of course, we have plenty of parent-child partnerships around at the moment, you know, and I'm sure you'll fall into that category in a few years, Dan, when yours become of age, that they can form a mixed doubles partnership, coached by yourself and Jenny.
Yeah, we'll see what their preference is when they grow up, but yeah, it's a great time to get involved with sport and with all that's happening here in the National Sports Campus.
Absolutely, yeah.
Maybe it's a racket, or maybe it'll be a bike with the velodrome, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Kate and Moya are certainly exerting their influence on this match. They've stormed to a 10-3 lead, which probably was not unexpected, but maybe not hoped for from the other end. But I think it's important that they, Paige and Michelle, start to get a few more points on the board and not let the game first set run away from them.
Yeah, absolutely. Mid-game interval, 11-3. Kate Moya's had a very good start to the year, reaching the quarterfinals of the Estonian International. And just last week, Kate had also some fantastic results in singles, with a win in her opening game against her Hong Kong opponent, and then having a really close game with Leanne Tan, who's Belgium's #1 lady and has been at multiple Olympics, and she led 17-13 in the second game, and they went all the way to 21-19.
Yeah.
So Kate's very versatile, can play singles, can play doubles, can play mixed.
Very talented racket skills.
Very good, very explosive player. I always find it very exciting watching Kate play. And what I love about Moya is how stable she is in the first
in the
3 shots. Yeah. That's one of the best servers I've seen in the game. She just is so reliable. There we go. You called it, Mike.
Yeah. But I think, you know, the basics of the game haven't changed. If you can't serve and return well, you're in an awful lot of trouble. And I know it's something that anybody who will listen to me, I tell them about, you know. Actually, worthy of note, in the chair in charge of proceedings is Carol Farragil, or Carly Argil as she prefers to be known. And interesting statistic about her is she umpired the 2012 ladies doubles Olympic final. So, you know, we really do have a lot of quality in Ireland, not just on court but off court. And her service judge is Derek Cray, who's recently just become an international lines judge level 4. So a lot of quality there, a lot of quality on court today.
Yeah, it's brilliant to have Ireland represented across the world at these top level events, both in the officials' chairs and on the court now, with the likes of Nat getting into the top World Tour events. To umpire an Olympic final is a great honour and a great achievement.
Let's see, can the girls push for 10 here and apply a bit of pressure and get into this game? It's a big ask for them, Dan, in fairness, really, isn't it? The 2 younger girls. A great opportunity, but it's a very big ask.
Yeah, and what you said at the start is very true. Michelle is more comfortable on a singles court, having won both the German under-17 and the Swedish Youth Games last year at under-17 in singles. and of course representing Ireland in the European Youth Olympic Festival and playing very well. She is more comfortable on a singles court, and she won't have the same experience as the girls in doubles, because you can see it's where the match has been won is in the first 3 shots, and the older pair have better quality in that area.
Service
But
over.
it's kind of like a different language.
7-16.
Doubles players understand the first 3, and they're mentally switched on. They're serving. They're looking for it. Whereas singles players tends to be more of a kind of a patient game.
Yeah.
But for me, what's fantastic is that we're seeing 2 younger players. I mean, we have a whole host of young girls
16.
who are coming through. Nicole Joy, we've got S.FLYNN, we've got a number of girls even younger than that who, so I think that it's fair to say that the future is bright.
17.
Yeah, the girls' competitions are very competitive, and it's nice to have that mix of the Kates and the Moyas, the Sarah Boyles, Rachel Dars, and then the group of young girls chasing them behind. You need that little bit of
Service over.
a conveyor belt to
9-17.
keep the competitive side of it really high, and then that encourages everybody to raise their level.
Yeah, absolutely.
Moya's been really aggressive, both on her first 3
Service
shots, but
over.
also on her defense.
18,
What she's done really
9.
well here is when
Yeah.
the girls are hitting their attack from the back, she's pressing and making those straight drives, coming fast onto the net. And then when they're lifting to Kate's got that explosive power, so they've just been controlling the game so far.
It's kind of what you would call having an attacking defence rather than just needless lifting. You're actually trying to do something with it and change
Service
defence
over.
to attack.
10-18.
Of course, Maya very, very well. Both the girls are facing each other in the mixed as well, and you know, so kind of no surprise to see, I suppose, really good doubles players doubling up as well.
Yeah, you can see that a lot where your top players are playing doubles and mixed. Not so many mixing it with the singles because of the energy levels that both require, and as what you said, the singles
Service
and the
over.
doubles skills are very different.
19-10.
So 19-10, the girls most certainly showing their class really. Not unexpected, but the 2 younger girls are, you know, they're making a fight of it, Dan, and in fairness doing themselves proud so far, working really hard.
Yeah, I like how from 11 that they've really, you know, upped it, and they've really come at the girls, but they just lack that little bit of strength and a little bit of quality in the final parts of the point that they can't get through Kate and Moya. But hopefully they can start the second game how they finished the first one.
Game.
So Dan, we have a slightly different service rule in play for this tournament compared
First
to,
game won by
we'll say, other
K.FROST
tournaments, and maybe
for
people are
Ryan,
wondering what the
21-10.
umpire or the service judge is actually looking through. Do you want to say a bit about that? Or
Yeah, so back in your day, Mike,
My day, yes, Dan.
it was the lowest rib, I believe. And,
yeah, below the waist.
And racket head had to be below
Pointing.
the racket handle.
Yeah, pointing
So
down.
the rules have changed now to a 1.15 metre where the shuttle must be struck below that 1.15 metres, and that is what the service judge is looking through, is a little device. It's perspex and it has 2 lines, and they are looking to see if that shuttle is below the perspex line, which means that it's been struck below 1.15 metres.
So whether you're 5'6" or 6'5", it doesn't matter.
Yeah, and you could see, like back in the day where you see like Mads Kolding and these big tall Danes who were almost able to drive the shuttle down on you, they now have to almost bend their knees
down,
to try and make sure that it's below the 1.15.
Yeah.
So it gives a nice level playing field for each of the heights, and maybe even a little bit of an advantage for the smaller player.
Yeah. But it's important to note that for your average club player and most of the events we run in Ireland, that it's the alternative service rule would be in play and not this one.
Yeah, and to be honest, you don't need to change your serve too much. The only thing you maybe need to be conscious of is bringing that racket head over the racket handle when you're striking it. Here, perfectly legal once below the 1.15, but for the domestic tournaments, you just need to be a little bit careful of that.
So here we go, second set.
Love. Service over. 1-all.
So let's hope that we can, the girls can get into this set early and at least make Kate and Maya work hard and earn it, as you would say, Dan. You always want to have your opponent at least make them work hard for every point and make them earn it, because that gets you a thing called respect.
Yeah, it's a nice start there. They're lifting to the back and they're defending a little bit better now. Good fade earlier and a good long defense.
3-1.
Interesting, you can see almost the plan looks like that they're going to try and lift long, keep Moya onto the back line.
Yeah.
But Moya keeping her work rate up, keeping her energy high.
Well, I think if you were going to put one of them on the baseline, that probably would be the tactic, is because Moya is so strong in the forecourt.
Yeah, the more favoured position, without a doubt, is Moya controlling the front and Kate,
absolutely,
working at the back.
Yeah, I think you're right, Dan. There's certainly a change of tactic here. So I wonder, Trevor Woods maybe had a few words, you think, and said, girls, listen, we need to change this.
Service over.
If they continue to play the first three, the traditional doubles, they were going to have the same result in the set, because they're just not as good as Kate and Moya in that area. But now what they're doing is they're opening up the play and they're playing it long. But the trouble will be getting past Kate at the front too when she's looking. I've played mixed with Kate in a number of events, and it's surprising how much reach she has at the front. She's so good at making those point blank cutouts. But yeah, now you can see lifting and clearing on Moya and putting her on the back line. That's going to be the plan here.
Yeah, I always say that if you're not winning, if it's not working, you've got to change it. It doesn't sometimes matter what you actually change it to, but you have to change it. And I think my son Daniel, who was playing here, got to 2 semi-finals, will always tell you that. If it's not working, he'll change it. And I think probably some of our junior underage players just maybe need to understand that if it's not working, I do something different. I may not know what to do, but you have to do something different. You know?
And that's what the girls have done well. Yeah. You can see the plan.
Yeah. And Dan, I think what's very interesting as well is that, you know, sometimes a coach gives a message to players on court and they listen, they understand, and once the shuttle is struck, that kind of autopilot takes over. But what's particularly impressive for me here is the two young girls, you can see clearly they're implementing it, they know what they're meant to be doing, and they're actually doing it, which I suppose for you as a HP director is a very positive thing to see, isn't it?
Yeah, you always want to see if someone loses, like you see the first game 21-10, can they do something different, especially to get that lead at the start of the game. And the fact that they had a 6-4 lead there demonstrates exactly what you're talking about. They were able to do something different to mix it up, to make the girls think. Now on the flip side, we'll be watching to see if Kate and Moya can counter that, be a bit more prepared for those clears and lifts. Moya just tries to switch it up at the back of the court and be patient and works Kate back into the game again.
And of course, the one thing that Kate and Moya, will be quite comfortable with is if they need to stand back and defend, they're quite comfortable at doing that, of course, it's because they're used to playing at a higher level against top quality opposition, and they're just, it's one of those things they have in their locker, is that, if we're in trouble, we can stand back and just lift, and we can work our way into the game.
Yeah, like those girls were playing the number 5 seeds from China recently over in Thailand and in India, and those attack that the girls have at that level, at top 50 world level, is just amazing. So they're not going to be afraid of any of the attack that the players come with. So they're going to have to work with the clears and the drops and try and make them work. But it seems to be they're getting back into their more favoured position with Moya trying to push forward and Kate taking the rear court.
Just long, Dan, but I think the tactic is quite clear. And of course, Moya's sister Aisling was featuring this weekend as well. She's playing with a young man from Tipperary.
Yeah, Aisling will be delighted with her run in this one.
She was fantastic in the mixed. I think she really, with Daniel O'Mara, she really showed her experience and I suppose leading her younger partner.
6.
Just unfortunate she came up against her younger sister in the semi-final, you know, but that's the way it goes.
That's what happens when you play your younger siblings, and I've first-hand experience of that this weekend as well.
Yeah.
And now the girls just settling down again. It's just that little bit of time it takes you to react when girls originally are attacking at you and you're countering. Remember we talked about M.RYAN making those blocks and coming forward at the start. Now the clears are coming, the girls a step back from that aggressive moving forward. They're more comfortable, they're not out of balance as much, and that's why they've regained control of the game. Oh, Kate's so good at the front court.
You can see Kate is just all over that net, Dan. She really is, and I mean that's the sign of a good doubles player. When you get a chance in the forecourt, you have to be aggressive. You know, and both the girls are equally aggressive in the forecourt. But I think their preferred position would be probably with M.RYAN at the front and Kate at the back.
Yeah.
Not meaning to say if they're the other way around, they can't also do really well, because you know they're two really good players.
Yeah,
particularly in the forecourt.
Absolutely. I think M.RYAN has a really good forecourt game, and she's really strong on defense. And then Kate has that explosiveness from the rear court, where she jumps and she can create angles and she's got power to put it away. But I also really like the way Kate holds and does her set pieces at the front court. She makes a lot of interceptions, so she's very versatile up front and the back. But it'll be interesting to see if the girls can work the clears and work the lifts and make them work the second half of this game. Beautiful reverse.
12-6.
And of course, Dan, it's always very, you know, when you say that, it's always very important to be able to, you know, be able to change the pace from the rear court, because if you're hitting all the time hard, your opponents can really get used to it. Whereas if you're mixing up the pace, for example, that reverse cross court that was hit there, it can be very effective, you know.
That's the one. That's the one we saw earlier in the game. M.RYAN making a great drive and going forward. She had a fantastic Irish Open this year. They were playing against one of the seeded German pairs, Linda Effler.
In the mixed.
Yeah, and she did that so well in that match. One of the best games I've seen her, where she controlled the front court. She was playing against Janssen, who has a big hit, big explosive player. She turned the shuttle so well, and I've seen it again here in this ladies doubles. When she's driving forward and going like that, you know, they're a dangerous pair to play.
And they only lost that mixed, I think, was it in 19 in the third? It was a flip of a coin.
14.
Yeah, the level was really good. It was the best play and standard I've seen from M.RYAN and Josh, who are a relatively new mixed pair. So it'll be exciting to see if they can continue to improve. A lovely shot from P.WOODS there.
8-14.
Competitive this one, Mike.
Yeah, you know, 8-14, a couple of points. You know, if they get to 10-14, then we can maybe have a really good second set. But you know, both of the girls,
Plumb into the box.
I think down the country, Dan, we would call that the butter box, am I right? And probably, is that the term in Donegal still? I know it is in Tipperary.
I haven't heard that one.
Have you not heard that one?
But yeah, an interesting one, but she found it well.
Absolutely. And in fairness to two girls, we forget that M.SHOCHAN is only 15 years old, and Paige will be around the same age, so still very young. You know, Paige is probably a year older, so I mean, M.RYAN and Kate are young at 24, but the two girls to be in a national senior doubles final at that age is a fantastic achievement, you know.
Yeah, they'll definitely they'll feature again. There's no doubt about it.
15-10, and you can see Kate is really, even though they're defending, she's really pushing forward to the net to try and change the defence to attack and apply pressure rather than just needlessly lift. solid defence from Moya. The girls are throwing everything at them, but it just keeps and there you talk again about Dan coming forward on defence and firing a cross-court low, which really makes it very, very difficult, you know, as a return to smash.
I think Paige did a really good job. She attacked the backcourt, midcourt, followed it up, but Moya just was so solid on her defence and then was able to switch it and make them work. Defence in ladies doubles is so important. You watch those top-end games, a lot of the rallies are win on defence, as opposed to the men's doubles where a lot of the rallies are win on attack.
Yeah.
But the girls on defence,
you've got to have a top defence.
Ladies doubles is crucial.
You can see Kate there is really, really looking to get forward at every opportunity, every single opportunity looking to get forward. It really is the mark of somebody who's thinking doubles and knows what they're doing out there, Dan. Is that fair? Is that a fair comment?
Yeah, absolutely. Hunt that net all the time until you're getting beat or they're going over the top of it. Your first instinct should always be hunt the forecourt.
11-19.
19-11. Just long.
Really positive display from these young girls. Great to see them making their first ladies doubles final, and I'm sure they'll feature again in other years. But really nice to see them get into the double figures against a pair that's top 50 in the world. That's a bright sign.
13-20.
Nice serve. That's the 1.15 meters.
That's the 1.15, Dan, yeah. That's the 1.5 because she's not the tallest. And you can see Kate really stepping into the forecourt there.
Good reverse from Moya again.
I think particularly on the cross-court defence, you're seeing the girls really stepping forward. And there we are. And Dan, is that a second national doubles title for Kate and Moya?
It is indeed, and they've set it straight again. So as you were saying earlier, Orla had 45 minutes left as national champion.
So unfortunately time is up. But look, we wish Orla Flynn, one of the Nanny Flynn girls, kind of a speedy recovery, and look forward to seeing her competing in this again next year, because we have some fantastic girls. And we want more of them, Dan, competing. So congratulations to K.FROST and M.RYAN. The national senior ladies doubles title is remaining partly in Dublin, but also in a place called Bridgetown in County Clare, which, as I said, is just a few miles over the road from me.
Absolutely. There must be something in the water in that area, Mike. A lot of national titles have made their way down to that area. So,
well, the interesting thing, Dan, is Kate and Moya both went to the same school as my son and daughter down in St. Anne's in Killaloo in County Clare, which is a reasonably rich pedigree from a badminton perspective, from a school's badminton perspective. But not only that, but as you see today, we have a former past pupil who's now a double has two doubles titles to her name.
Yeah, it's great for that school, isn't it? It's just a great achievement for Moya, and it's nice to see the continuation of players coming through from each of the 4 provinces. There's great strength all across Ireland at the minute. We've actually got a regional pod program that we're hoping to launch and pilot this year, where we've got a pod in Waterford, a pod in Cork, a pod in Clare and a pod in Galway, and we've got great guys working in each of those areas, and we're hoping to have younger age group, under 11 and 13s, then a senior training session, and then a second tier training session, and we'll meet in fixed locations 2 to 3 times a year.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
And then during the breaks between that, the guys have some information to go away and to train their younger kids and the more elite players within their groups. And you look at Daniel and Brian, the performance that they put on today in the men's semi-final, you can see that the players outside of the centre as well are also training in a really high standard and producing results. And here we go. It's going to be an interesting one now, where we've got Adam McAllister coming back on court again with D.WALSH. roommates living together. Maybe put their differences aside from the singles now to come together and put on a good performance in the doubles, and they're up against a top 50 world pairing in Josh McGee and Paul Reynolds.
They're really up against it. But there are two guys from the west. One is from Roscommon, one is from Sligo. Sorry, Mayo. David is from Ballina, County Mayo. So I think they'll be looking to take this opportunity to try and, I suppose, I won't say prove a point, but to try and use it that maybe people don't give them too much of a chance to maybe, really have a go, because they have nothing to lose,
Yeah, absolutely. Like in this one, David is a former national winner in men's doubles along with Jonathan Dolan. So, he's been in this position before, and he has a title, under his belt.
And a former senior international as well.
Yeah, and Adam is fighting to get his first win and his first gold medal in the national, so he'll be gunning for this opportunity. It'll be an interesting game where the boys have that little bit of quality on the net from Paul Reynolds and the power from Josh. Equally on the other side, Adam McAllister very good at getting in and hustling the front of the court, and David Walsh a very intelligent player on court. So it'll be a nice matchup. It's interesting on that other side of the draw. It was a very, very even side, and either David and Adam or Brian or Daniel could have been in the final here. So let's see if these guys can be the first pair to really trouble Josh and Paul this weekend.
Yeah, what's going to be interesting is, Josh and Paul are what, 50 odd in the world, so they're a top pair, and I think what we'll have to wait and see is how Adam and David can find a way to, I won't say hit through, but get through them, because Josh and Paul so far, their defence has just been stunning. So how the guys can find a way, they're certainly not going to find it by just hammering from the baseline. They're going to have to be creative to hit some slices, some cuts, some sticks. How do you see them, Dan? What would you be telling them if they asked your opinion? How do we hit through these guys?
For these guys, I would look at the set pieces, the first three, trying to gain control of the front court and the mid court, get out of the defense, not lifting too much, especially when you're lifting short on Josh. He can hit the shuttle on the ground. There's not too many players this weekend that have that raw power to hit through in the arena. No. Josh is one of them. Paul Reynolds at the front court's really dangerous. So, Adam is going to have to try and get up there and take that net off Paul. And then David has to press high from behind Adam. So if they're going to have any chance to challenge them, they're going to have to really try and get into that forecourt and mid-court positions. Once it goes into the back courts and they start to lift it around, it's going to favour the...
I would like to see Adam and David, maybe a tactic. A good tactic would be, they've obviously got to keep Paul away from the forecourt, so a good tactic would be to flick him or flat serve him and keep him off the net. That doesn't mean to say that if Josh gets something short that he's not going to put it away, but I think they're most certainly stronger with Paul in the front and Josh at the back.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a good plan. Paul will be used to the people trying to expose him at the rear court, but I wouldn't be surprised if I saw them using the flick serve on Paul. Paul will be ready
Ladies
to
and
get up for that,
gentlemen,
but
on my right,
they have to try
David
and get them
Walsh
more in
and
that position
A.MCALLISTER.
definitely if they want to have a chance.
And in charge of proceedings today in the umpire's chair is our BWF qualified umpire, Seamus Halpin. Seamus regularly travels the world representing us at the highest events in world badminton, and his service judge is, as I said earlier, Carl Farrell. So two of the best, Dan.
Yeah, absolutely. You're not going to get any better. There's what we talked about, just that
raw
power.
So Dan, is this really, in your own situation, is this really the last dance?
Yeah, I decided going into this event that this will probably be the last senior nationals that I'll play. I'll still play some domestic badminton and masters badminton, but
and BPL.
BPL. There's lots of badminton to be played, but in terms of senior nationals, it was 2007.
Wow.
When I won it, and it's now 2023. So I think
you know, I was delighted to make the semi-final here, and if I was going to lose to someone, I would like to lose to one of my own family members, because I've been doing it all my life. So yeah, I think it could be the last senior national for me, Mike.
Yeah. I was really hoping that Daniel and Brian could come through in this, because it was 25 years ago this year that I last played in the Nationals myself, when I won it with one of our best ever male players, Bruce Topping. So it would have been a nice thing for father and son, but unfortunately not to be, Dan. Unfortunately not to be.
5 love.
And here we go, the first 3 shots. The boys again, kind of similar to the last match, where you've seen the quality of the first 3 from K.FROST, and this is happening again here in this match. Paul is a fantastic player at the front of the court. He just, the way he serves, the way he finds the third shot, he just has so much control at that front court.
And I'm sure David and Adam are probably thinking this game hasn't really started and we're 6-1 down, exactly for the reason you're saying. It's all about the first 3.
Yeah, absolutely.
Service over. 7-1.
The difficult thing for David and Adam here is they're true doubles players, and they play badminton the right way. But if you're playing someone who is a little bit sharper, a little bit stronger than you in each of those areas, sometimes you've got to put the pride aside and try and do something different. Maybe, you know, take them off the front court, start the rally in the long corner rather than trying to beat them. Doing the right thing.
9-1.
And that's difficult when you know that you can beat other opponents playing that way. You have to mix it up. Just forcing the play a little bit too much.
And I think the danger with David and Adam is that they do exactly that, is that they force the play. So rather than maybe smashing down the singles line, they feel they've got to hit the outside line, and suddenly they make a half a dozen errors by trying too hard. The important thing is that they stay in this game.
Service over. 11-2.
Josh and Paul have been rock solid the whole way through this event. I say they had an interesting matchup against S.GUILDEA and Vincent Pontonos in the quarterfinals, who are Irish under 19 circuit winners this year. A great young pair coming through. I think they gave them quite a decent game, you know, competed very well, although the score lines were 10-7. Equally, on the other side, I think the only match really where David and Adam were challenged was that semi-final against Brian and Daniel, which was 21-18 in the last game.
Yeah, it's going to be hard for... It's going to be hard for David and Adam really to get a foothold in this game, because it's almost like whatever they do well, as soon as I say it, Paul serves into the net, but it's almost like whatever they do well, Josh and Paul do it a little bit better.
Yeah, and the 2 guys have been working really hard again. Josh was a European Games medalist along with his older brother Sam, and now he is working directly under Sam. So you can see a lot of the knowledge that Sam has, you know, a 3-time European medalist, and he's passing that on to these guys, and they're improving all the time. They're now at a ranking where they're going to be coming up against the world's best, playing the higher level events, so they have to really step up even more now. There's the flick that you were expecting, Mike, and Paul, as I thought, would be ready for it and really got up good energy on that one.
Very intelligent player, Paul Reynolds, very, very intelligent.
Okay, of course, one of our other European junior medalists. We talked about Trevor Woods winning in 1975, and Paul won his European under-17 medal along with N.NGUYEN in men's doubles. The same year that Nat took gold in the men's singles.
I think the other interesting thing is they lost to a pair of Danes, if I'm correct, and one of the Danish boys was Mads Thorsen, whose father was a national coach back in the 90s. So a full kind of 360 there, if you like, you know. His father was one of, still a good friend of mine to this day, but he was one of our first international coaches who came over, you know.
Adam.
Wait till the interval if you want to pass any more, right? It's okay.
Thank you.
Me or Adam?
Okay. Adam serving. 5-14.
So let's hope the guys can start to get a few serves in play and get a few more points on the board, because you know, get a bit of confidence going and believe you can make a match of it.
Yeah, and we've seen it in ladies doubles, the more established pairing dominating at the start. And then, you know, the younger pair got into it, switched up the tactics. It'll be interesting to see, can Adam and Dave change something up, because at the minute they haven't really mixed it up much. Here's one of our first rallies of the match, really.
But I think the big challenge for them, Dan, the difficulty they have is they're playing against a pair who are used to playing really, really top-class badminton around the world and are capable of playing at a fast pace without making mistakes. You know, and I think that's the problem. If you don't have that same level of practice, you can maybe stay with them for a while, but you're going to make some errors. You know, and Josh and Paul are as solid as they come. See Josh just playing a very clever, just kind of a block and follow in and take the attack.
Great rally.
Fastest racket sport in the world, Dan.
Yeah, over 300 kilometers an hour the smash when it's hit at its hardest.
I think it's actually more. I think it's over 400 at this stage. It's Victor Axelsen is off the scale these days, you know.
Yeah, these guys are hitting big power. Now on this court it would be maybe only Joshua that's up there in the mid 300s with his smash, and that it has a little bit of a difference on the game, where you've got three other guys who are skillful and can find gaps and that. But you've seen the chance David and Adam had there to put it on the ground, they couldn't, and then on the flip side, when it changed over, they were able to do it.
Yeah, you've got to be able to put the shuttle on the floor when you get your opportunity. You really do. And I think in a big hall like this, Dan, it's harder than maybe in your one court parish hall to put it on the floor, and you've got to be more patient. And you know, you see Adam McAllister there again, turning defence to attack, playing a very clever block. And a very well worked rally, in fairness. Plenty of patience, not you know, willing to stay in the rally, not give anything away, and basically wait their turn, and then they got their reward for it. So 8-16.
Game's starting to open up a bit more now. Adam and David starting to get into the rallies and a little bit more confident maybe.
So again, you're seeing a flick there to Paul Reynolds.
9-16.
These set pieces now that they're doing
Service
better.
over.
I noticed when David was serving, he was serving much quicker, so he wasn't allowing the players set as much as what they had before, catching them a little bit unaware and then getting straight into the rally, and that's now opened them up a little bit more to get into these rallies, so making the game a lot more interesting.
18-9.
I think in the second game, if Adam and David get a little bit of a better start, it could be a lot more competitive.
There may be a little bit as well, Dan, that you know, in a funny kind of way, even though they're losing the first set and are likely to lose it, that it might actually drag their pace up, and in the second game, you know, they might be a bit more used to that pace, and therefore might be able to be more competitive. Would that be fair?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, like from competing and playing in Ireland, Mike, and you've played for Ireland multiple times. Sometimes when you're not used to the speed, you struggle, and then you get a game under your belt, and then you feel, okay, I can actually play at this speed, I can play at this level, and then you compete much better in the second.
You make less errors. Yeah. Of course, Adam McAllister is, I think technically, Dan, he's one of our most talented players, you'd have to say, we've had for a while.
Yeah, I said it in the singles. He's very versatile.
Yeah.
You know, I've been away on a lot of Irish trips with Adam McAllister, and what I love about going away on a trip with him is you can play him in singles, you can play him in doubles, you can play him in mixed.
Very skillful all round.
Yeah, at European tournaments, him and Paul are a similar age, and they've played together, and they've won a lot of matches in the team event. Very few matches Adam McAllister has lost, and he's done it very well with Paul. He's done it very well with Brian O'Mahony when they played together.
Yeah, very versatile.
He has that ability to step up.
19.
Of course, his mother Catherine has come all the way down today. She's over there somewhere. I certainly saw her earlier on. So, Catherine McAllister, shout out to you there. I know you're very proud of your young fella, and he's, you know, he really has turned into a fabulous badminton player, Dan, to be fair, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. Catherine's
20,
a stalwart
game point, 11.
spectator, as is Mr. Brian Kelly, who I see over there as well watching, and I believe Breda might be here today as well. A lot of these guys that come to all of these tournaments, it's fantastic to see them here and support
First game won by Joshua McGee
Yeah,
and
we
Paul
had
Reynolds.
actually
21-11.
former men's doubles champion. I spotted Breed McGowan in the crowd earlier, so it's always nice to see one or two legends hanging around the place, you know. Yeah, and it's great to see Brian back in again, because I think he had a bit of surgery on his knee, and he's finally getting out and about. And himself and his lovely wife Jean doing massive work, as you well know, for Leinster Badminton.
Yeah.
There's so many tournaments, particularly at underage, that just wouldn't happen without them.
No, they're great. They're great volunteers, and give up much of their time to support Leinster Badminton. And you know, they've been bringing away kids to events for years. They've been running these Leinster Opens, Leinster closed events, and you know, these are the type of events that get our young players playing badminton and get them into the game. And then you hope one day that maybe they'll go on and they'll feature in like a national championships like this, and
absolutely,
and maybe even a final along the way.
Yeah, all because somebody gave them their time all those years ago. And I'm going to give a shout out to the O'Mahony family from West Cork, from Dunmanway. I think Brian has achieved so much over the years, geographically very disadvantaged, but the work and the effort and travelling that they've put in over the years, and I think Brian to get to a men's doubles semi-final today was just reward. So it's nice to see his mum and dad here supporting Brian as well, you know.
Yeah, he's improved so much. He really has.
20
he's
seconds.
got a great attitude.
20
he's
seconds.
reached out to me multiple times to ask, you know, what drills can I do to improve this? What type of training do you think we need to do this? And he goes away and he does it, and you know, he's been getting results at domestic level. So fair play to these guys.
Play.
Second set, love all.
Paul
straight into the forecourt.
Service over.
But I think, Dan, the game over the years has changed to players being very aggressive in the forecourt. You know, I mean, being very solid in the first three, but really looking to apply that pressure in the front third. I mean, you know, we've seen many top doubles players doing that over the years, you know.
Men's doubles is crucial, that you can control the front court, because the power that all of the men have nowadays is
massive.
So big.
Love.
And there's so many different steps in the ladders and tiers on the ladder. If you're a top 100 player, a top 80 player, a top 60 player, every step gets a little bit harder.
Service over.
You can see it's
2.
a bit more difficult for Adam and Dave to hold the defense, because the power that Josh brings sets up Paul so well, where Josh and Paul sometimes get these lucky points, well, not lucky, but points where the guys maybe have a chance to put it away but just can't, because they don't have the same put away power.
Yeah.
2-all.
And I think you know, there's many players I've admired over the years, and I've seen and played against most of them. I've not played against the current crop because I'm too old, Dan, basically. But I think a player I would take my hat off to in terms of, you know, dedication, training, everything that he has done to make himself the best he can be is Joshua McGee. You know, he really is a fantastic role model to you know, how to train, how to live your life to be the best that you can be, and he really has, you know, developed into a fantastic doubles player. And I know there's probably others as well, but I've always felt that, you know, maybe he hasn't got the credit that he really deserves, you know, and that's why I'm shouting him out now.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's a super role model.
At senior level, there's not too many people who have European medals, and Josh is one of the guys. He's got his European Games medal and multiple national titles. And he's been in national singles finals, and you know, now he's playing both the doubles and the mixed. So he's been around a long time as this group of players go. But yeah, he's really worked hard, and he really has a good attitude. Nice shot from D.WALSH there.
So Dan, they've taken the slenderest of leads here, 4-3. So maybe we can look forward to a more competitive.
Yeah, and even towards the end of the second, David and Adam really upped their play, and they settled a bit more. Maybe got rid of the pre-match nerves, and then opened up the play. So yeah, no, I do believe this second game is going to be a lot more competitive.
There's Paul automatically just looking to dominate that forecourt.
That's great pressure from Paul.
And he's just forced to lift out the back. You know, he's forced to lift.
It's that alertness and the readiness with the racket at the forecourt that makes the big difference. And you could see Paul there, hits one, looks for the next one, hits one, looks for the next one. And the guys did well to hold their defense, but you know, that pressure is serious. Look at that again.
Yeah, and he's anybody who's watching this, or any players who are watching this looking to, you know, why are these guys better, or what can I copy to make myself better? If you watch Paul Reynolds, the way he really does be aggressive and continue to be aggressive in the forecourt with his racket held high.
This whole phase between 4-4 to 7-4 has just been him controlling the front court, and you see Joshua Wright squeezed up behind him. He plays onto the net to force Adam or David to play back to the net, and that plays Paul in.
Service over. 5-7.
He's hit a purple patch, Mike, and sometimes in badminton you have to accept when that happens. If someone hits that purple patch, and then just say, okay, although it's not going my way, I'll wait, and when an opportunity comes, I'll take it again. Paul's he's just everywhere at the minute.
9-5.
Yeah, just never turns down an opportunity to be aggressive, drive the shuttle and claim the forecourt. You know, I mean, I'm sure he takes it personal at times if somebody has the nerve to challenge him in the forecourt almost. It's like, oh no, you're not. This belongs to me.
Yeah.
You know, he really does.
Yeah, he has that pride up at the front of the court. And he's got a partner with that can allow him to go forward and just hold the backcourt.
Service over.
You know, the guys, to be fair, David and Adam are really up there trying to hustle him at the front of the court.
It's just very difficult when you're faced with that, you know, kind of quality and pace coming at you. It's very, very difficult, you know. Looked like it was going wide.
11-6 interval.
I guess back in your day, you had the likes of Donny O'Harlan and those guys who naturally like to do the role that Paul's doing up at the front of the court.
Yeah, people tend to use that term a lot when they talk to me, Dan, to say back in your day, you know, so yeah, you're absolutely right. But I think nowadays the game is more, you know, back in my day, as you say, you would have had somebody who was a forecourt player, but you can't really have that now. No. You've got to be able to do both because the game is an all-around game, and while Paul may be more comfortable in the forecourt with Joshua at the back, they do need to be able to play in the reverse order as well, and yes, they obviously can.
Yeah, absolutely. No, you can't get away with it. If you look at the 90s and the 2000s badmintons, there was always a big hitter and a setter at the front.
Yeah.
And then you came across the likes of Kevin and Marcus and these guys who broke through from Indonesia, both equally as good at the front and at the back, and they rotate off each other so well, and they lift the speed of the game so much higher. So no, it's really interesting to see if the guys now can, you know, find a way past Paul and try and open up the rallies again.
Service over.
7-11. So let's get a few points on the board. 7-12. Let's get a few points on the board here and make this match. Make them work for it, Dan.
Yeah, I think again maybe the better tactic here is not to go full power through the front of the court, open up the play a bit. But to open up the play, you have to be able to defend.
Yeah,
you have to be able to defend against a partnership that has good power and then good angle at the front from Paul.
Yeah, I think modern men's doubles, you've got to be able to do a lot of things, but you've got to be able to hit it, and you've got to be able to defend. And if you can't, you know, you're going to be in a lot of trouble.
14-7.
There are times when you need to stand back and accept that you're going to have to defend and be patient and defend and work your way into the rally, and you just have to be able to defend. Great half-court push there from David.
This is an impressive display from the guys.
Service over.
One of the things I've noticed, Dan, this weekend that I've watched a lot of men's doubles seems to me maybe that, I suppose from what I'm seeing, is the full-court player could be a little bit further forward, because what I'm seeing is the player defending having room to play a block and suddenly the net's gone, and the only way you can stop that is by, you know, in my opinion, being a bit more forward in the forecourt. Otherwise you can see the attack too easily, and that would be one comment that I would make of the doubles that I've seen. I think the net court, the forecourt player is maybe just a little bit deep.
16-8.
Yeah, and this one looks like it's probably going the way we thought it would go, down 16-8.
Yeah, just currently slipping away a little bit from David and Adam. And I thought they did a great job in how they started the second game. Came out and, you know, fought hard for the front court. And then it just seemed to be when Paul hit that, you know, Patrick controlled the front court, that they lost their way a little bit, lost their confidence again. But now maybe Adam can get into a run of serves and David can start to find a gap again and try and bring the score back. Good mix on the serve by Adam, just to open it up, make them think a little bit. And you have to do that. You've got to mix your serves now. You've got to try something different.
And it's probably, when you're watching, you probably really don't get the full appreciation of how fast and how powerful and aggressive men's doubles really is. You know, you probably don't get the full picture. As they say, I feel the need for speed.
Yeah, absolutely.
To quote a line from a famous movie, which you'd be very well versed with.
Yeah, absolutely. Broken racket and a change of the racket there, Mike.
Yeah. Do you think he broke it, or was that he went for it anyway, Dan?
I think the frame might be gone. There was a heavy clash of rackets. Good pressing from the front from Adam McAllister there.
Excellent rally. One for the fans to be surprised if the
racket's gone.
Seamus won't call on the line judge with the map here, seeing as Paul went over. Doesn't seem to be.
Quicker, yes.
A string, maybe. You might be right, Mike. See, he's cutting the string, so potentially maybe just a string break rather than a frame break.
Yeah. Dan, just explain to people why would players want to cut the strings when a string breaks? Why would you do that?
Yeah, so these days now the rackets are being strung 32, 34 pounds of tension. I know Joshua likes to keep an extremely tight racket, and if the string isn't cut out straight away, sometimes it can crack the frame.
So just release the pressure.
Service over.
Again, just a little bit loose on the serves from David, and you just won't get away with that at this level.
And it really is very hard to, like people will say, well, you've always got a chance, you never know on your day. I mean, when you're faced with this level of quality at the far end, it really is very, very difficult, Dan. You know, it really is a very difficult, and the boys have played really, really well today, Adam and David, but the reality is they've just been up against a really, really good pair. I mean, you look at P.REYNOLDS there,
20.
Yeah, I think
match
there's,
point.
you know, if
11.
you looked at the draw, there was a number of pairs off a set level, and then there's just Josh and Paul who are top 50, and you know, I think the highest points they give away was what, 11, 12 points maybe this
12,
match here, and
20.
you can't say that there was any point of the tournament that they were really under pressure.
Not at all, no, to be fair. And you wouldn't expect them to be under pressure.
Game.
And there it is.
There it is.
Another title for the boys, and another silver medal there for Adam McAllister. His quest goes on for a national title, but he's young. He's 22 years of age, so he'll be fighting for many more across the singles doubles, and maybe even in the mixed category. He'll be back again to fight for a medal. D.WALSH already has a national title under his belt, and again, you know, 28 years of age, and with men's doubles and mixed doubles, you can go on playing mid-30s. So he's got plenty of time to go back out and compete for another title. So I've no doubt that these two boys, Adam and David, will be back again and will fight for more medals in the future. But today, Josh and Paul just seem to be a level above everyone else in the tournament. Next one up, we've got a very, very interesting ladies singles final between 18-year-old Sophia Noble and 16-year-old S.FLYNN.
Yeah, and I think you've got very different styles here. I mean, Sophia Noble is, you know, I've had both the girls on many under 17 and 19 trips in the last few years, and Sophia is, she's a remarkable young woman. She's, you know, she's dedicated. She trains. You know, she does all the things. She's very strong mentally. You know, she's got a huge amount of desire, and she really wants to do well. And then on the other hand, you've got a younger girl who has got, I think it's fair to say, Dan, she's got an awful lot of quality and weapons, and probably maybe at times would be looking to refine those to how should I say, maybe be a little bit more consistent, and when it comes together, I think you will be looking at something pretty special.
Yeah, Shifa's got so much technical ability, and you know, her results speak for themselves. The amount of podiums she's been on the European under-17 circuit last year is extremely impressive. On the other side of the court, Sophia Noble, she's been in a national final before. At senior level, she's won all of her underage national titles the whole way through. And you know, last year she was finished as high as number 14 in the world at under 19. So she's got a lot of class. Both girls fighting for their first senior national title. So it should be a brilliant matchup.
So whatever way we look at it, Dan, we're going to have a new name on the title.
So I have Craig McCourtney back with me for the women's singles final, and here we go. It's S.FLYNN versus Sophia Noble. Welcome back, Craig.
Good to be back. Two good finals there, Dan.
Yeah, two excellent finals, and another really fun one to look forward to here. It's an 18-year-old versus a 16-year-old, and it's two of our podium potential program athletes. Both these girls are working on court with our men's singles coach, Iskander, and they're also working in the Sport Ireland Institute, so they're, you know, got that level of strength and conditioning support as well, and you can see that they're both very athletic, and they've both got some really nice attributes the way they play, so it should be a great matchup.
Yeah, I'm personally excited for this one, Dan. This is kind of the event for me this weekend that's been very open, and of course we had Rachel Dara pulling out with injury, unfortunately, and now we are guaranteed to have a new national title for one of these ladies.
Yeah, it's always nice to see a new national champion coming through. And here we've got like a great matchup. Both at international tournaments have performed really well and stepped up really well. I think Sophia Noble, the way she played at the Danish Junior Cup this year was remarkable, reaching the semi-final of that, a really prestigious event. Also, she went on to win the European circuit under-19 event here, the Irish under-19 Open. And then on the other side, you had Shifra, who's been in a number of podium positions on the under-17 circuit at Bulgaria, at the Victor Jot Open, and the different events that she's played. So both good domestic players, but international players as well. Yeah, I mean,
Sophia just came back from the Icelandic International there recently. That was her last event. Sophia, 18 years old, runner-up in the 2022 national final against Rachel Dara, taking the silver medal here. So she'll be really looking to take her first ever Irish national title here, Dan.
So behind Sophia there is her father John Noble, taking the coaching chair, and behind Shifra we have Orla Flynn, who was last year's national women's doubles champion with Jennifer King. So we have two coaches here working along with girls, and sometimes it's just nice to have someone, you know, giving you that little bit of encouragement at the back of the court. I'm sure both girls have a little bit of nerves, you know, thinking, okay, this could be my first title, and we'll see who settles into the game well.
Ladies and gentlemen, on my right, Sophia Noble.
Yeah, definitely, of course. Shifra Flynn, I believe, turning 16 years old today. Dan, it's her birthday. So it would be a nice birthday present for her today to take this national title.
Absolutely.
Serve, love all, play.
First rally, Craig.
Yeah, great first rally. It's a good attack from Sophia there. What a rally if that's the way things are going to go. Dan, we're in for a good game.
Yeah, absolutely. It's nice to see that despite any nerves, that the girls are willing to work and willing to rally. So great opening game, or opening rally.
Oh, that's an accurate smash down the line there from Sophia.
Too low.
So both these girls still in school. Sophia finishing off her school education this year, and then we'll go into college.
Service over.
She works very hard in her national training setup under Iskander, as does Shifra Flynn. So both these players are training almost full time alongside trying to balance their studies. So it's going to be a long career for Sophia and Shifra, and potentially they'll meet again in a few more national finals along the way. We also have the likes of Rachel Dara, who's now top 70 in the world as well. So the girls have a really competitive centre where they're going to be coming through and fighting against each other.
A nice cross-court smash there around the head from Shifra, just catching Sophia off guard. That's been called out.
Service over.
Yeah, I think the way this game would favour each player would be Sophia playing the longer, grinding rallies, and then Shifra making the winners with her good technical skills, with her net play and with her overhead attack. That's a really dangerous smash.
Just drifted out the back there as well from Schieffer. Just
5,
finding it hard to
2.
get her length here in this fall. Something we've seen all weekend. Sophia's game, Dan, is
What a beautiful shot.
you see that one there, just cross reverse
Service over.
slice.
3,
You
5.
see from her cross smash and her cross reverse there, the dangerous shots that she has. And you can see with the way Sophia is playing the game, she's punching those clears and moving the shuttle fast. So they both have their game plan, so it'll be interesting to see who can make their game plan work better.
That's nice there. Something you see
Service
from
over.
Sophia, she
6,
really works hard all the time. All the rallies she's grinding. It's one of her really good attributes as a singles player, Dan, isn't it? Just to be able to grind out those long rallies.
Yeah, great work ethic.
She's lost her racket.
And Schieffer didn't
over.
make that
4,
save.
6.
Potentially could have smashed down the middle of the court, but
It's not something you see too often, that Dan racket slipping out of someone's hand. But
yeah.
luckily there was no line judge there on that side.
Yeah. Oh, what a recovery from Schieffer. That was amazing. This is high quality badminton. Look how early Sophia is on the net there.
That's such a good net there. Reply. Challenge the net there from Sophia.
Service over.
At the
7,
minute you can
4.
see Schieffer's pressed into the long corner playing these drags, where Sophia is at the top of the net commanding the play. Oh, dangerous smash again.
Yeah, she's not going to miss that one.
And what's great to
8,
see
4.
is the body language. You can see every point that Sophia wins, she comes with energy, she celebrates the point, and you know, she's really, really up for it. Oh, nice.
Yeah, I think that's cut the net cord there and
9,
gone
4.
over. It was a really nice drag there from Sophia, wasn't it, then?
Yeah, it's the mindset Sophia has to be early on the tape. That's the difference at the minute. You can see that she's nice and energetic going up there forward, where Schieffer is just, you see, a little bit behind the play, a little bit late on the shuttle.
10,
and,
4.
It's definitely Sophia commanding the pace.
It's
Good serve.
falling in, good serve, right on the back line.
11, 4.
And we're
Interval.
taking interval at 11-4 now. So we've seen quite a few unforced errors so far, Dan, from Schieffer. What does she need to do? What does she need to do here now in the second half of this game?
It's she needs to up the speed. She needs to try and be more in command of the rallies. At the minute, she's a little bit following Sophia's pace, and you can see that because look how many times Schieffer, despite her height, is dragging the shuttle from the rear corners, and then Sophia's just up playing. And to be fair to Sophia, she's finding the net cord. She's nice and high, nice and energetic on the front. Whereas
20 seconds. 20 seconds.
Schieffer, it's everything's a little bit later, everything's a little bit behind the play, and unless she can try and get up there and be the one commanding the rally, it's going to continue this way, and Sophia will
11,
continue
4.
to control the game.
Play.
Of course. Sophia is no new
Service
customer
over.
to winning medals. She
5,
has won
11.
every age group nationals since she started in under 13. Dan, she's won the under 13 nationals back in 2016, all the way up until she finished at under 19 level. She won the girls singles nationals, so she's won the nationals in every age group, Dan, coming up to this. So
6,
really
11.
a fierce competitor here.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, she has all the underage titles captured, and one that stands out now is the senior title. Maybe today will be the day that she adds that to the list.
Yeah, it's impressive to win your nationals at every single age group that you play in. It's no small feat.
Service over.
So Sophia's
12,
managed to do
6.
that, and now she's looking to capture her first ever national singles title here today.
Service over.
Both
7,
girls really
12.
impressive on the route to final. S.FLYNN winning in straight games over Nicole Joy in the quarterfinals and over Paige Woods in the semi-finals. On the other side of the draw, Sophia Noble won her opening match against Roisin McKenna in 2 games, and then overcame former national champion Sarah Boyle in the semi-finals. So both players looking really strong on their route to the final, not dropping any games.
That's a nice cross-court slice there from Sophia.
14-7.
Just catching Schaefer off guard. 14-7 now.
Again, see the early net that Sophia has,
15-7.
and that's really making her command the play. She's stopping the net, she's making fast tempo, she's turning the shuttle. She's doing a really, really good job.
Just a lot of unforced errors here at the moment from Schaefer.
16-7.
She just needs to get herself back in the rallies here, Dan.
Yeah, and that can be expected, kind of, if you've never experienced this. Sophia has the benefit of playing a senior final before, and she did a really good job in that one that she played. So Schaefer has to maybe gain that little bit of experience of what this feels like and see if she can handle it.
Another long rally here. That's landed out just wide.
9-15.
You notice Sophia choosing to serve with the backhand serve, Dan, is what is her reason behind that? Because often we see in the ladies singles these long high serves to the back line.
Yeah, I think on the tour now you'll see a good mix of low and high serves. And you see Carolina M.RYAN will serve backhand and can flick, and it's that a little bit more or less time on the shuttle for the opponent. Where you'll see some of the other girls like Yamaguchi, and these girls will do the big high serve.
Service over, 17-10.
To wear down their opponent. So, you know, you'll see a variation of both, but stereotypically the low serve and the backhand flick serves a more aggressive way to start the rally.
Yeah, definitely trying to get that, force that early lift, I guess.
Yeah.
As we see a punch clear exchange, and then just Sophia missing that
11-17
reverse slice.
Yeah, and that will be the big thing for Sophia to get to the next level, is just to really refine her technique and tidy up some of those overhead technical strokes.
That is a good shot. That is a real good lady single shot there. Then that punch clear cross court into the backhand side.
Yeah, and that's her strength, pushing and bullying her opponents into the rear corners, playing the extra punch clear, making them work. And you know, Sophia does a lot of work on her physical side, and that's where she really is streets above the rest. She has that good physical edge, and so if she can really now in the next few years work on her technical ability and get it up to a high level, she's going to be such a dangerous player at senior level going forward.
Game point now to Sophia. Yep, that's going to do it for the first game. 21-11. Players who will swap
First
ends.
game won by Sophia Noble. 21-11.
So far, Sophia looking the more comfortable of the two players. We've seen some decent strokes there from S.FLYNN, some of her weapons. When it came into the longer rallies where there was a bit of grind, Sophia was the one in charge, and she was the one that was making the most of the longer rallies.
I mean, what we'd like to see, I guess, Dan, from Schaefer in this set is just to be a bit more patient and wait for a better opportunity to attack, and keep on trying to take the net early is going to be key against someone like Sophia, Dan.
Yeah, absolutely. She has to step up the court, force Sophia into the rear corners, make her work, stop the shuttle, and then try and create that short lift, because when she gets the short lift, she has these really difficult overheads to deal with, where she can cut, where she can create angle, and she has that big smash as well. But what we've seen more of is her being late in the corner, playing drags. We haven't seen so much of her intercepting the shuttle when Sophia's, you know, pressurizing from the front, and that's the big difference at the minute.
Okay, second game about to get underway.
Second game. No ball. Play.
Yeah, there we go. You see the difference? Oh, Sophia got that drag over.
Yeah, it's just caught the net guard, but
no.
yeah.
You see the difference in intent though. The first punch clear, then Sophia played drag, then she followed up early net, and Sophia played another drag but caught the net cord and went over. But the intent from Shifra much better.
Nice shot there.
Yeah, already a more positive start in this game from Shifra, and we'll see if Sophia now steps up the speed again.
Of course, this is Shifra's first ever national senior final in the ladies singles dance, so it's tough to come out here and perform when you're only 16 years old, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
2-1.
Nice rally.
Yeah, that's landed on the line there. That's brilliant from Sophia. Really good with her punch clears there, Dan, to force a short, one short from Shifra.
Both girls fighting to get that short lift. Sophia got a slightly short, and that one was plumb on the line. It couldn't have been hit any better, and it's nice to see that, you know, she's confident enough and her nerves are settled enough that she can go for that type of accuracy.
It's just fall short there, Shifra trying to spin a net.
3-2.
Yeah, I think you commented on in the opening game, it's more so Shifra's unforced errors than Sophia's winners. That's, you know, winning and losing this game on both sides.
Yeah, straightforward there, just a nice layoff.
4-2.
Shifra's got to be patient. Yeah, it's good from Sophia, isn't it?
Yeah, both girls
5-2.
trying to force the clear, trying to make their opponent work. But what Sophia's doing really well at the minute is she's finding that attack first. So it's got a clear exchange, and then suddenly Sophia changes the pace.
6-2.
And then Shifra hasn't been ready for that change of pace or change of angle.
Yeah, Sophia just been winning from forcing mistakes, really, Dan, so far. That's it, early on the net there for that kill.
7-2.
7-2 now, a commanding lead, 5-point lead now.
Service over.
Unfortunate for Sophia, because she actually had caught Shifra with the flick, but just long. Nice rally. Oh, great overhead.
It's just another unforced error there from Shifra.
It's
It's a
over.
good chance for her there,
8-3.
Dan, to take that point, and just another unforced error when we didn't necessarily need to be so aggressive.
That's really showed you. That quality stroke there is a combination of good technique and her physical attribute, which is her height and her reach. So that's the type of thing that Shifra needs to look to do more and use more of. But it's just the mistakes at the minute that's costing her, and Sophia's been really solid throughout the game so far. Oh, great net exchange. Oh, beautiful reverse, and the recovery rate from Sophia, first class.
That's where you need Shifra to see her being a bit more patient, Dan, and use her weapons when she gets the short lifts.
Yeah, and you can see there that cross reverse followed by that spinning net shot is some of the lovely skills that she has.
That's good there. Sophia putting pressure there on
Service
keeping
over,
it on the
10,
same side.
5.
That straight pressure.
So far, she's keeping that lead. She's pushing on. She's being aggressive. No easy mistakes on her end.
Yeah.
11-5.
Early on the net there
interval.
from Sophia, and we take it into 11-5. A lot of work to do here, Dan, for Schaefer. She just needs to get herself in the rally, doesn't she?
Yeah, the body language tells a lot. Where Sophia having good dialogue with her coach and father here, John Noble, and it looks confident, has that little pep in her step, where Shifa is looking not as confident and struggling a little bit, making these easy errors, where we've seen some beautiful things
20
from
seconds.
her
20
shots
seconds.
and her range of techniques, but we just need to see a little bit more consistency and maybe her not forcing the play as much. But as it stands, it's looking like Sophia has a good chance of pushing on to take her first senior national title.
11-5. Play.
Nice turn from Shifa.
Sophia has her under real pressure there, Dan. She's trying to scramble those
12-5.
back, but just she's too far behind in the rally there.
Yeah, Sophia keeping the pace nice and high. So it's great to see this level of play.
Thirteen 5.
Good get from Schaefer. That's been called out.
Service over. 6.
Great to see
13.
our volunteers, line judges, umpires here today, Dan.
Yeah, they've done a great work throughout, and I think it's Tom on the chair here, and Tom's been working for many years
6.
for all of the events, both domestic, senior nationals, and we've got Guy Wheeler on the service judge chair, and great ambassadors for Badminton and great
15-6.
part of the court official group. Nice to have these guys giving up their time to make these events what they are.
Yeah. That's a nice spin in there from Sophia. It's
16-6.
very hard to do anything with that down. When the shuttle is spinning like that, it's very hard to lift. You have to kind of wait till the spin comes out of the shuttle.
Yeah, and Sophia has owned the front court. That's been one of the big differences in this game.
It's been called
Service
out.
over. 7-16.
7-16 now. That's a good get from Schaefer, but Sophie is too quick on the net
Service
there.
over. 17-7.
Yeah, on the line.
Service over. 8-17.
Of course.
Shifa needs to make one last big push here to try and at least make Sophia think in her closing points, because when you haven't had that title under your
9-17.
belt, sometimes when it comes to closing out the game, like you mentioned earlier in the men's singles,
Yeah.
it starts to make you think. But if you've got that 7,
there you
8
see,
point
there you see,
lead,
Dan, 2
10,
unforced, easy
17.
unforced errors, which we haven't seen from Sophia really so far in the whole match.
No.
Easy unforced errors like those. So a little bit of pressure creeping in here as she approaches her first ever national title.
Eleven 17.
and you see Shifa changing to the low backhand serve.
Yeah, interesting. That's a great smash. That's one we needed to see more of Schaefer earlier in the match, Dan.
17.
Yeah, I think maybe the low serve has been a big help here for Shifa, because you know it forces Sophia to make the lift early. then Shifa can use her overhead attack, which is really dangerous, we know. And look at the difference, like now she's the one that's attacking more. There's Sophia on the net, but look at the tempo change from Shifa. Just making one last big push to make the game competitive. Good lift onto the back line again. This is really opening up.
This is a good rally, Dan.
Good leg out from Sophia.
Oh, that is brilliant. I mean,
Rally of the game.
That is brilliant.
On both sides during that
13,
rally,
17.
both girls were buried at the bottom of the net and they dug it out and they got the shuttle into play. So
That is-
Shifa's now starting to find
That
some
is
form.
6 straight points for Shifa, Dan. There's something. She's turned up a gear here.
Yeah,
See if it's
the
okay
introduction
once
of the
again.
low serve has made
made it.
Sophia think, and it's now become a very interesting game. I think Sophia just needs to get that point back and get back on serve to really relax again. Oh, that's the cheap one she needed.
Service over, 18-13.
It's good patience. That's landed on the line.
14-18 now.
14-18.
Suddenly the game has got extremely exciting. Good tempo.
It's a
Service
good,
over.
it's a good return to serve, really,
Yeah.
forcing her into
19-14.
that long corner.
Yeah, Sophia needs to really just lift the speed again, like what she's done so well throughout the match.
It's an important point now, this.
Great smash. Great smash.
That's a brave one.
20,
This is it now.
match point,
This
14.
is title point for Sophia. Let's land it out. Let's land it out. It's
Service
nervous.
over.
She has to wait
15,
one more point
20.
to get there. It's great display from both girls. I'm delighted to see Shifa fighting back and making Sophia earn her first title. It's great to see. I'm sure these girls will face each other many more times in the future, but today Sophia has definitely been the standout.
That's landed
girl.
out as well. It's nervous looking, Dan. It's a little bit like earlier.
16-20.
Got to get across the line. 2 points saved from Shifa.
Oh, what a shot.
now that is
What
quality.
a shot. Absolutely amazing.
17-20.
At that point of the game,
When your match point, Dan.
incredible. Because Shifa played extremely good straight drop. Sophia read it, was there early, and then just for her to come in and make that turn to save match point and to go 17-20.
3 match points saved now from Shifa.
Great shot. Oh, wow.
How did she get it?
Oh, there it is.
That's it.
It's a big one for Sophia, but a brilliant fight back from Shifa Flynn. Congratulations to Sophia Noble on her first ever national title, and congratulations to Shifa Flynn on her first ever national final. These two girls, two
Match
bright
won by
prospects
Sophia
for
Noble,
Ireland
21-11,
in the coming years.
21-17.
An absolutely brilliant final there, 21-11, 21-17. Well done to both.
Yeah, I mean, that game didn't disappoint really, Dan. Both of them in their element there in that last end of that set. Shifa not giving up, which is great to see, Dan, at 16 years old, and not to give up there when you're, I mean, many points behind.
Yeah, and you can see why Sophia made it as high as number 14 in the world junior rankings, and why Shifa has been a top 5 in the European circuit under 17 rankings. You know, an English Gold Star winner and multiple podium on the European under 17 circuit. These girls have bright futures, so congratulations to both, and we're looking forward to the last final of the day now, which will be the mixed doubles.
Yeah, an exciting last final as well. We've got S.GUILDEA and K.FROST against Joshua McGee and M.RYAN. That's coming up now. course, Scott Gildea and K.FROST, new partnership. Be interesting to see if they can challenge Joshua McGee and M.RYAN, as they call the players onto court here now. Judges, court officials. Jerry, no experienced umpire, taken to the chair for this game. Six line judges on court. Of course, Joshua McGee and M.RYAN just back from the Indonesian Masters. High-level event. Joshua McGee, of course, was featured earlier in our men's doubles final, along with M.RYAN, who featured in the ladies' doubles final. Scott Gildea, of course, featuring in the men's doubles. He got knocked out earlier in the tournament. Kate now having to play against her doubles partner in this final. Should be interesting, as Dan rejoins me here. Right, Dan, an interesting matchup here. A new partnership with Scott Gildea and K.FROST. It should be interesting to see how they play here, Dan.
Yeah, I think they have the potential to be a very, very strong partnership. Kate has got really good attributes and set pieces at the front of the court, quite explosive at the back of the court in the women's doubles as well. And Scott is a really bright prospect in our doubles and mixed categories going forward. You know, doing a lot of work and shadowing Sam McGee, and you know, he's got a really good physical presence for such a young guy. He's so explosive, and I know from the work that he does in the Institute of Sport, he's got great jumps and great athletic ability, and that translates into the way he plays as well.
Of course, these players are just coming back from the Thailand Masters, Dan, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, flew in this week, back on Thursday. Not too much time to settle the jet lag, but it seems to be okay for them. They've performed well. All players so far doing what they should do.
And well, Kate actually having a very good tournament over there, Dan. She played in the singles event and got out of qualification against a Hong Kong player, Young Si, and she lost out to Lian Tan then in the main draw, and she played a very good level there, Dan.
Ready to play?
Absolutely. You know, Kate, we know, you know, she's a former national singles champion herself. Can play a high-level singles, high-level doubles, and proven, you know, in this weekend that she also is a high-level mixed doubles player as well. So it's this will be a very interesting game. I know that Joshua will be very motivated and up for this, along with Moya, having won this title last year. And I think Kate and Scott can go in this as the underdogs, nothing to lose, and can produce a good level. Both pairs relatively untested, coming through. Joshua and Moya having a clear 2 games all the way through their draw, and the same for Scott and Kate in their first ever tournament together.
Of course,
Ladies and
Josh
gentlemen,
and Moya
am I
are
right?
defending
M.RYAN,
national title
Joshua McGee.
holders, Dan, in the mixed doubles event. Josh obviously adding an extra men's
And on
doubles
my
title
left,
to his
K.FROST
already
and Scott
7
Gildea.
doubles titles today, so bringing Josh's total of national titles to 9,
right,
and
serve.
hopefully we'll take a 10th
Scott
title
Gildea.
here, Dan, in the mixed doubles.
Love all. Play.
As we get underway.
Very good. Nice fade
Service
from
over.
K.FROST there, just to get the sort of below level net, and you could see already she goes, yes, I love that, to see this fight at the start of a game. Brilliant from Moya.
Yeah, that's good. That
Service over.
early turn on the net from
1
Moya there, Dan, is really good mixed doubles, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what I called straight away. Once you made that block, and then not only that, but she was early to turn the shuttle at the net. Should be a cracking game.
It's landed out.
2-1.
That's good attack there from Scott, getting up around the head early, playing that smash between the pair.
Yeah, Scott and Kate taking out the number 3-4 seed, Brian O'Mahony and Ruth Kilkenny in their opening round, then beating Owen Walsh and Ciara Dwyer, although one of those games 21-19 in the first, but then 21-9 in the second. Before taking out the number 1 seed, Declan Bennett and Lauren Au, who were last year's finalists, 21-12, 21-13. So a new pairing, but they have beaten 2 of the top seeds to make their way to the final here.
Of course, Josh and Moya obviously are a relatively new pairing as well in the mix, and they've got a world ranking of 159 at the moment, so they're trying to work their way up the rankings in the mixed doubles as well.
Yeah, so they're maybe a bit more established than what Scott and Kate are, but yeah, as the international circuit goes, they're a relatively new pair.
5-3.
And for those guys, they had an opening win against Louis Lyons, M.SHOCHAN, before taking out Sam McKay, who featured in 2 semi-finals here today. Sam was playing along with Jenny King, last year's women's doubles national champion, and then in the semi-finals up against Daniel O'Mara and M.RYAN, and that was a 21-9, 21-12 victory. So both pairs definitely the standard 2 so far this event.
That's good defense from Josh there. Oh. Yeah, good defense from Josh there, Dan. He was under pressure from Kate to the net.
At the minute, Kate is forcing the front court a little bit. Moya's looking a little bit more controlled, but I think Kate has the right idea. She has to be aggressive. She has to look to cut out. Otherwise, you know, Josh is going to get the attack, and he's so powerful when it comes to the mid court and the rear court that you can't get away with those short lifts.
Yeah, it's a good shot there from Moya to force a bad lift from Scott. Of course, Scott, the youngest player on court, only just turned 18 years old, so probably not as much experience as the rest of these players on court, Dan, but definitely can hold his own. We've seen that in the doubles.
Yeah. Look at that power.
And there you go. That's what you're talking about there, Dan, that speed he can get and jump. He can get into his smashes and his overhead strokes.
Yeah, he's huge potential. His athletic ability is really, really high. His power, and he's a clever guy on court. Along with his partner Vincent Pontono's winning the under-19 circuit event, and he actually won the mixed doubles with Sophia Noble on that event as well. So he really is a doubles and mixed specialist. Although last year, Scott Gildea actually made the final of the singles as well.
Oh, that is fantastic from Moira, taking the top of the net court there with the shuttle. I mean, Josh is dangerous at the back of the court, Dan, isn't he?
Yeah, mid court and rear court. He's the different level from the rest here today, and I think Moya.
Yeah, as you see there, we're just talking about that. That is incredible athleticism. Be able to jump into the round the head corner like that, Dan, and stick a half smash down the line is really quite impressive.
Yeah, and Moya setting them up really well at the front court.
That's been called in.
Push Scott, good push straight on the body. And again, you see Scott, he's not afraid to get up and toe that line and really push forward.
That's clever from Josh.
Solid on defense.
Yeah, it's good defense.
Great rally. Boy. Scott was unsure and he took it.
Great rally. Great rally. That's fantastic. You just seen there, Dan, maybe
10.
the new pairing of Scott and Kate, they're a little bit unfamiliar about where they should be there, but they managed to scramble the point.
Yeah, absolutely. The couple of times there where they were both going for the same shot, and then even the last shot that Scott had, he was very late at taking it, but great rally.
Nice push there from M.RYAN body.
Oh, great dive from Scott.
Another great rally.
Service over. 11-7. Interval.
Interestingly, you can see that Scott is pushing forward a lot, even in front of Kate at times. He's not afraid to push forward, and because Kate has the power and the strength at the back of the court, it's okay for him to do that.
Yep. So 11-7 now at the interval. All to play for, Dan.
Yeah, it's a very exciting opening game here, and it's just
20 seconds.
a nice mix
20
of
seconds.
speed, control. You can see Moya's really, controlled the front court, and she set up a lot of the lifts for Joshua, because it's one thing, putting the shuttle on the ground, but you got to have someone there making sure the shuttle's going high for you. So it's a nice battle on the front court and the mid court so far.
Service over. 8-11. Fault. Service over. 12-8.
Just a 4-point margin here, with Moya and Josh just looking to have a little bit of control on the game so far, but lots of very competitive.
Service
rallies.
over.
Well read by
9,
Moya, but just
12.
overhit. And it's easy to do, especially in here, where if you don't see it and you don't time it well, you can make that easy error on the front court.
Pulled it back to 9-12 now.
Service
Nice
over.
idea to flick Moya there, Dan, though.
Yeah,
9.
just to try and get them out of position, and Kate did read it very well. Just again, just a little bit of composure, just to make sure she can make the kill or make the fade. Nice lift. Moya's done that so well in both the doubles and the mix, where she just made that simple block and come forward. Again,
good
the
defense.
Oh,
Snatching at that one at the net, Dan.
14.
Probably best just to lay it off there instead.
yeah, and I feel like Kate's done that a little bit throughout this game. She's been making good moves, but just being a little bit too aggressive, and that can kind of be where you're playing against maybe a pair that would be a little bit, ahead of you or ranked above you, where you try to do a bit too much.
15.
As you see there again,
9.
another mistake from Kate in the net. Frustrated. Of course, K.FROST 2019 won the ladies singles event, and in 2021 won the ladies doubles event with M.RYAN. So she's no stranger to being in national finals, Dan.
No, she has her titles secured, and she can take that.
Good exchange there. Just brilliant defense, really.
This is great rally. Good by Scott, just to lay off and then mix with the power. Again, this is what I like to see Kate do more of, where she just plays the shuttle and control it, and then look for it when it really is on. Well up.
Oh, it's a brilliant rally. It really is. That's a brilliant shot there from Kate, Dan. That layoff that we want to see down to the service line.
Yeah,
that's
nice.
rally.
That's nice mixed doubles.
Twice in that rally, she now made the choice just to lay off the shuttle rather than trying to finish it when she's maybe not a little bit unbalanced or out of position. So here we are, 15-10, 10-15, and Kate serving on Josh. Just too short to lift.
Yeah.
Service over.
You're not going to get away with that against Josh, really, Dan, are you?
10.
No, he's the one guy that's going to always punish you for
Probably,
for
I
short
mean,
lift.
in terms of national titles and
Service
tournaments
over.
played, Josh 28 years old
11,
now, so he has the
16.
most experience probably on court, Dan, of playing a high level badminton.
Yeah, out of all the finalists, he was the oldest one across all of the disciplines. So, and you can see almost he's a lot more relaxed than maybe some of the other guys that are out there chasing their first national title.
Of course, this will be Josh looking for his 10th national title here. Of course, Josh winning the 2015 bronze medal with his brother J.MAGEE at the European Games. European Games coming up again this year, Dan. Hopefully we'll get to see some of these players playing at that.
Yeah, we're hoping to have men's singles, women's singles, men's doubles and ladies doubles all qualified, and then potentially the mixed doubles have a chance, but certainly all of the other disciplines we have players in great positions now to be qualified for that event. Good fight at the front from the girls. Oh, well up from Scott. That's good. Good rally.
Yeah, good from Scott there. Followed it up early.
Interestingly, you see how much he's pushing forward, and Kate holding the rear court really well for him. So it's nice to see M.RYAN and Josh being challenged like this from this pair.
Yeah, and I mean, Kate has that ability to play the backcourt as well, Dan, doesn't she?
Yeah, absolutely. M.RYAN again, just that simple layoff.
That's clever. It's clever. Not forcing anything there, Dan, from M.RYAN. Just trying to get another short lift force so Josh can put it away.
Yeah, sometimes, especially with the club players, they get that opportunity at the front court where they're looking to make the kill, and they force it a little bit too much. The one thing that M.RYAN's done so well in this game is at the front of the court, she just chose to lay it off, get the short lift, and be patient.
Yeah, and I mean that kind of applies at all levels. Badminton, Dan, really is just be patient, lay off, and wait for that short lift.
Yeah, again, you see M.RYAN not choosing to crush, just twice, just laying off. Then Josh is right up behind her on the midcourt, and then she hits it hard when it's the easier one.
Nice pressure there on M.RYAN.
Brilliant.
Yeah, that's good.
16, I think Scott's really got his energy up now, and Kate finding the front court really well. That's what's changed the scoreline around, and now 16-18.
Yeah, only back to 2 points difference now. So
service just a cheap one from Scott.
Yeah, I mean he needs to obviously
16.
tuck that back to middle or put a bit more pace on it, Dan, doesn't he? It's a good serve.
Kate unfortunate.
Unlucky. Just coming off the top of the racket there.
16.
She read the shuttle really well, and she did the right thing. She put herself in a position to make the kill, and just missed it by a fraction. 2016 game point.
Yeah.
Game.
Good idea there. M.RYAN choosing the flick. And first game Joshua M.RYAN, 21-16.
21.
Good first game there, Dan.
Yeah, I think out of all of the finals so far today, this has probably been the most competitive final, with both pairs. Kate really hustling the front, M.RYAN hustling the front. Interestingly, Scott's making really brave movements forward, trying to put Josh a little bit more under pressure, so he's not getting, well, towards the end of the first, he wasn't getting as many opportunities to attack as what he was at the start of the game.
I mean, yeah, we need to see more from Kate, just being patient, laying off at the net, and then to get on the attack, to get Scott on the attack more, because I suppose, Dan, they don't want to keep Josh on the attack because he's so dangerous. They need to try and find the gaps, turn M.RYAN and make her work hard.
Yeah, absolutely. And it'll be interesting to see, can Kate and Scott come with that energy that they ended the first game with, or do Josh and M.RYAN start again like they started in the first, where M.RYAN dominated the front, served well, looked for the returns, and then just Josh owned midcourt and rear court.
course, M.RYAN, looking for her third national title here, along with J.MAGEE, and to defend their title from last year.
Second game, love all, play.
And the lift just a little bit too short again, and came off the lucky net cord. Yeah, nice flat exchange here.
Looked at that. That's good from Scott. He read that well. Yeah, he read that well.
Bit of indecision from Joshua on the rear court, and Scott was ready to prance on it straight away once it crossed the net.
Yeah, it looked like that turn from Scott was drifting out there, and then they decided to play it. That's good from Kate. Oh, it's
Service over.
Already this game. That Josh just hit the net
You
cord.
see a bit of frustration there, Kate, because she did everything right there, Dan, didn't she? She laid off, and she was patient, and just sometimes that happens. Oh, just snatching at it.
3-1. Service over. 2-3.
A few unforced errors from both sides here at the start of this game. Scott's trying to put them under pressure there, Dan. See, he's trying to get early, but he's liable to make mistakes then, isn't he, if he just pushes a bit too much. That is a good shot from Kate at the back. It is right on the line.
Yeah, just on the outside hip of M.RYAN, and it was kind of a little bit higher than what you would have been hoping for. A really clever smash from Kate. It's a really competitive start to the second game. See how early Scott's on the court. Great to see. Oh, clever from Kate. But M.RYAN again solid on defense all today. So solid on her defense.
Yeah. That's landed out the back. That's really good from M.RYAN there, Dan.
They were under huge pressure throughout the rally, and then you just saw that block from M.RYAN that just changed it back into the favour of them being on the attack again.
Yeah, just good simple badminton, really. It's good from Scott, though. He really gets up.
Service over.
Yeah, we talked about that athleticism and the jumps that he has, and you've seen there the angle that he produced in front of M.RYAN, making it difficult for her to get racket under the shuttle.
That's a good smash from M.RYAN. She got up on early on that one. And just targeting Kate.
4.
Nice and competitive here in the second game.
It's good by Kate. Yeah.
Service over.
Forcing a mistake.
5-6.
Just no weight on the shuttle there from Scott, and then Joshua not pushing his hand through.
Yeah, we've seen that a little bit this week. You just kind of got to give those shots about 10% more in this hall, Dan, compared to other halls, really, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely. That power, and again, you see the smash just across into the right hip of Scott, and he's just a little bit trapped there. Again, once the shuttle's short and Josh gets that opportunity to attack, he's got that power and angle. Fantastic change of pace from M.RYAN with the block, and then Josh keeping his energy high on the rear court, smashing first of all straight and then onto the outside again.
Service over.
Point for point here.
8.
Nope, 6-8 now. 2 points.
Scott going for the drive serve. Josh shuttle's ready. Just
Service over.
It's just a simple layoff
6.
tap down from Moya there. Forced another mistake. They seemed a little bit out of position there, Scott and Kate, in that rally, Dan.
yeah, just Moya and Josh looking more confident in their defense than Scott.
That's good from Scott, though. He's so fast on the net there, Dan.
Service over.
Yeah, that was clever.
7.
Saw the block,
9.
made the move, and he's not afraid to come forward. He knows he has Kate to support him in the rear court there, so good early move onto the shuttle.
Service over.
Just going for it.
10-7.
Just unfortunate from Scott. He read the shuttle so well. It was early. All he had to do was place it down the line, but
Good defense. That's good defense from Scott. It's a good rally.
oh, fantastic. Both sides playing so clever here. Good transitions from attack to defense. Both players blocking, looking to get the attack short on the lift
Nice
there.
idea on the turn. Moyes just read it. What a rally that was.
I think the last
11,
lift from
7,
Scott
interval.
was just on the service line, which put them under pressure.
Rally of the match so far.
So there we are, 11-7 at the interval, and it's been a really good, flat, fast exchange from both pairs so far. Nice to see the
20
intent
seconds.
from Scott and Kate
20
come in and
seconds.
take the front court, take the mid court, and then the defense from M.RYAN, especially to block and go forward, has been the big difference within this partnership. So on attack, both pairs looking quite explosive, quite dangerous, but maybe just a little bit more from Josh and Moya, a little bit more stability in the defense, and that's probably just because they've played together a bit more and they're more familiar with each other.
11-7.
But a very even start to the second game.
Of course. All these players have already played a lot of matches today and throughout the tournament. That's early from Scott.
Correction out.
Put that at the back.
12-7.
Did everything right there, Dan. Just
Yeah, made the move.
snatched at it there and put it out the back. Good, simple, just a simple layoff there from Moya. Forced a mistake from Kate again. It just shows, you know, a bit more experience in Josh and Moya having played together that bit longer. Good attack there from Moya.
Yeah, I think,
14-7.
maybe just Josh has a bit more mixed miles under his belt than what Scott has, and especially at senior level there is a difference between how you play mixed at junior and senior level. But if Kate and Scott continue to work together and play together, I could see them being a very good mixed partnership for the future as well. They've demonstrated some really good things in this game, especially
15,
Scott's
7.
movement towards the front court, being aggressive, and you know, Kate being able to hustle at the front of the court and fight with Moya to get those lifts. So
Yeah, I mean,
lots of
they
positives.
certainly have the qualities to make a good pairing. They're both really athletic players as well. Scott there. You see that jump we talked about earlier?
Service over.
Getting really good angle on his
8,
attack when he has been
15.
attacking. which can make it very difficult for an opponent to dig out from.
8-15.
That's landed out.
9-15.
Called out by the line judge straight away. 9-15 now. Be nice to see a bit of a fight back here, Dan.
Yeah, it was very even towards the end of the second game, and the start of the second game again started quite even, but there just seemed to be a small patch there in around 9-10 where Scott and Kate just switched off for a little bit, and that's given Josh and M.RYAN that lead that they can just play with a bit of comfort and be more relaxed.
That's just not a good lift to
Service
give away
over.
there, Dan, really. He's got other options there instead of lifting it to Josh. They've got to stop doing that.
Yeah, in the last 6-7 points, Kate and Scott's just become a bit too defensive, and that's why M.RYAN and Josh have regained that little bit of control of the game.
Service
Thanks for
over.
trying to serve there
10,
from Kate, pushing it out
16.
wide.
One last big push now from the guys.
Yeah. Too defensive again there.
Service
Just
over.
too much.
17-10.
Shuttle changed. 17-10 now. And I mean,
18-10.
bit of frustration there and
Yeah.
impatience, I think, Dan, and
Just trying to get that quick point, just to try and get them back in it. But at this point of the game, they can't afford to give away the quick ones. Great switch from Scott. Good energy to get behind it, and Kate laying off really well. That's beautiful from K.FROST.
clever from Scott.
Yeah.
That's clever. That's good mixed doubles.
Service
Just
over.
making that a little bit of a
11,
hold, punch clear,
18.
and put M.RYAN and Josh out of position there, Dan. That's good.
He had really good energy throughout that rally, hit 5-6 big smashes, couldn't get through, and then just mixed it with punch clear. Yeah, great idea.
It's good defense there from Kate. Kate did really well there, Dan. She was a little bit out of position and managed to
18.
defend well there to give Scott the chance to attack.
Yeah, last few rallies they're just finding the attack again, so it's nice to see Scott and Kate still trying to figure out ways to win this game. Even though they're down in points, they're not stopping to fight.
That's good. They're fighting for sure. I think we've seen that really in all the finals today, Dan.
18.
Everyone wants to fight when they're down, because it's not easy to get over the line, and with the new pairing like this, they've nothing to lose.
Now it's 14-18. Now it's starting to get interesting again.
14,
A good run of points from
18.
Scott and Kate, and again I do feel like it's down to them regaining the attack and not giving away the lift. You've seen there 5-6 points where Josh was getting up, explosive, hitting attack, hitting smashes, and it all seemed to go in their favour. Now Kate and Scott are back on the attack and they're making winners.
That has landed in.
15-18.
I think M.RYAN called in as well. Josh was fairly certain it was out, but that's landed in.
15-18, only 3 points in it.
That's good from Kate. She challenged M.RYAN at the net there. Well done, didn't she?
16.
Yeah, again,
18.
they're just now a lot better on the front court and the mid court, hustling to get the lift. M.RYAN and Josh need to try and regain the attack. Good fade from M.RYAN.
Good defense.
Fault.
Unlucky.
Again, just
Service
Moya
over.
stopping at the front of the court.
19,
And then a clever
16.
smash from Josh at that time.
Yeah, we've seen that all throughout this game, Dan, really, as Moya has been really good at the net and just laying off and being patient. Work to
match
him.
point,
He
16.
had a lot of ground cover there across the back of the court, Dan, and
Yes.
our smashes tend to drift wide there when we're off balance, falling out of the court.
Brilliant fight back from Kate and Scott. Really made this second game exciting towards the end. Hopefully they can keep their composure in the last few points. Lucky right idea from Kate.
That's going to be it. Moya, Ryan, Josh McGee winning the Nationals mixed doubles title. I have to say that, Dan, I'm pretty impressed by this new partnership of Kate and Scott. One to possibly develop for the future,
Match won by
and
Joshua
definitely
McGee and Moya Ryan.
something that they can work on there.
21-16.
Yeah, definitely. It was a good fight there in the second game, and towards the end of the first game, there was patches of brilliance from Kate and Scott. But on the main, we have to say Joshua and Moya deserved winners and looked extremely solid throughout. Brilliant defense and faith from Moya, brilliant attack from Josh. So well done to both partnerships on probably one of the better finals of the day, and maybe one of the best. It was great to watch and really competitive, but well done to all of the finalists. It's not easy to make a national finals, and we had a good spread of finalists from across the 4 provinces in Ireland, so it's great to see so many different players coming through from all around Ireland.
Yeah, it's great, and I mean, it's what's fantastic as well is we've had a good turnout of people spectating here this week, and a massive thank you has to go to all of the volunteers that have been here setting up from the start of the weekend all the way to today, with our umpires, our line judges, the Badminton Ireland staff that have worked so hard to put on this event, and the National Indoor Arena and Sport Ireland for letting us host these events here. It's been a fantastic day, and Nationals is always a special event. We see the trophies getting set up to make the presentations down below. There's a lot of history in the trophies, over 111 years old, the trophies, and a special thing to win a national title. So the presentation's now coming up down on course.
Yeah, thanks very much everyone for tuning in, and once again we'd like to say congratulations to all the winners, and congratulations to the runners-ups also for having such a brilliant performance throughout the week. Again, well done to our events team and everyone who has taken part over the week, to all the people who have travelled up, and the parents that have brought their kids here to watch. It's an exciting time for Badminton with the new Velodrome project coming on as well. And the National Indoor Arena, we'll see many more nationals here in the future.
Our line judges coming out there for a quick group photo. Some real talent there in the line judges, some of them international line judges getting to travel to events abroad, and I mean, we're always looking for new line judges, especially for our bigger events like this and the Irish Open, which takes place here in November. Always looking for extra volunteers and help with that, and the line judging team today here did a fantastic job of making sure the games are running smoothly, as we should see one of our international umpires there, Seamus Halpin, taking a quick group photo.
Thanks very much everyone for tuning in. It's been a pleasure to commentate for you here today along with Craig and Courtney, and we look forward to seeing you at the upcoming events.
Just looks even.